Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final midweek show.
Hello. Buenos tardes. Hello. Good afternoon.
How are we doing, everyone? A very warm welcome to the evening show. Apologies for the ever so slight late start this evening. Just a few behind the scenes things to contend with, which of course we are looking after. But first thing I want you to look at today, as nice as this EasyJet is, ladies and gentlemen, is the progress of the charity fundraiser, already at 67.2% on the fundraiser. Before the Sunday show is anywhere near, I do wonder what we're going to get to today.
Wow, yes. For those who don't know what we're talking about, this week is the biggest week at Airliners Live of the year. It is the Airliners Live 2022 annual charity fundraiser week. And that is going to go across the entire week. We started on Monday, so just 2 days ago. I can't remember what the percentage was, but I think 24 hours into the fundraiser, we were already at 50% of our goal. So it's going nuts this year, but what we're doing is we're raising money for the Christie, which is a cancer support and cancer research foundation that is very close to us in terms of, you know, what it means to us. Obviously, we lost a close friend of the channel earlier this year. That was Peter Hampson, and he received a lot of his end-of-life care from them as well. So in his memory, we're raising money for him, and we're doing that across the week, basically, and it's all going to go across today's show, Henry's show tomorrow, and the ultimate show on Sunday, the big charity fundraiser show of the year.
And the first departure today, heading to Dalaman, is the TUI 737-800, 11-year-old aircraft from 2011, just rotating off 05 left. We are on reverse ops this evening, and as we say, this is celebrating the final, well, not really celebrating, to be honest. I suppose we're quite down about it, but this is going to be the final midweek evening show of this summer season. Obviously, they'll be making a return next year as long as the RVP continues with these late hours during the summer. But a very warm welcome to James Kappelman Golf, who's just become a first-class VIP. Welcome to you, James. Thank you very much for becoming a VIP today. Now, for those of you who are new to Airliners Live and do not know how the charity fundraiser goes, each year we raise money for a particular charity, and today we are raising money for the Christie guys. Here we are in the studio. Hello. I'll quickly put you back to main cam for this departure.
There's another EasyJet. Plenty of EasyJets around Manchester these days, and we may have a bit of a special guest later on the live show as well. We'll talk more about that in a moment.
But so the plan for today, folks, is if you donate to Airliners Live, we're asking you, please do not donate today. Super chats are switched off. I know VIPs and stuff are still on, obviously, because people want to become members and still want to use the emotes and stuff like that. That's absolutely fine. Super chats are switched off today, folks. So any money that you would have donated to the show today, there will be plenty of links in the chat. All you need to do is click those links. It's justgiving.com/Airliners Live. Yep. There is a more precise link that Nightbot puts in the chat that directs you straight to the fundraising page. All the money that you would have donated to the show today, guys, send it to the charity. And let's see what total we will hit today before the end of today's show, because it's going crazy, guys.
Yeah, it really is. Like I said, within 24 hours, we'd already hit 50%. And this year, we've set our goal higher than it was last year, but lower than we actually achieved. So last year's goal was £5,000. And we understand here at Airliners Live, obviously, with bills going up and whatnot, people probably being a bit more cautious with their money. So we set a bit of a conservative goal this year of £6,000. So obviously an increase from last year. We're very optimistic that we'll hit it. And what are we at now? I forget the exact value. I think
we're currently at £4,039 at the moment.
Wow.
Which is absolutely incredible, guys. And I'm just going to open up the Just Giving link now. Today is part of the Airliners Live fundraiser. We are raising money during today's show, guys. I've got the page open here, and we are going to be reading people's names out as donations come in as best we can. I can see we're already putting some extra funds into that. A big shout out to Claire Steele, Tony Parkinson, Roman Adventures, Richard Squire and Martin Sterling all donating within the last hour or so.
That's insane.
And super important, guys. If you are a UK taxpayer, then there will be a little box. Make sure you click the box that says, yes, I am a UK taxpayer, because then it will say, do you want to include gift aid in your donation? Super important. 25% extra on top of your donation will be added on for free with gift aid, folks. Do not throw that money away, please. Really important. If you're a UK taxpayer, do not throw that money away. Click the box. Make sure you double check, triple check. Especially if you're putting in a big donation, guys, double check that box is ticked, because it's just extra money for our charity. And who doesn't want extra money for free, right, for the charity, guys? So links are in the chat. All the way through today's show will be fundraising, and the Super Sunday show starting at 10 a.m. is our big fundraiser show. We do it once a year and once a year only. And we ask that you dig deep, guys. I know there's a lot going on at the moment. I know there's a lot of people worrying about the cost of living. So please only donate what you can afford, if you can afford to do so. If you can't afford to support, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you're involved in the chat. Make sure you're showing love for donations coming through with the emotes, with the love arts, guys, and just support the stream in that way. That's the best way to do it. But don't feel any pressure, please, anybody, to donate at all or more than they can afford. But we want to raise as much money as we possibly can.
Yeah, and if you can't donate, you can always do other things, like if you share the stream around, share the fundraiser around, maybe get some family members and friends just to drop a couple of quid in. It all adds up a lot, so don't feel too bad if you can't support yourself, because we completely understand. And also, if you look at the fundraiser link, in particular the prizes command in the chat, the Just Giving page, you can see a list of all the prizes that are up for grabs. So what we do every year to encourage donations, not only are you supporting the fantastic charity that is the Christie, but also you're entering yourself into a prize draw if you donate £10 or more. And then if you donate £25 or more in total in that one donation, then you'll be entered into an elite prize draw, which is special prizes at a higher, basically, level of value. So each person only gets one entry per person. So if you don't like £20, you don't get two entries to the £10. And also, when you do submit, make sure you put your name on there as well for us to see. I know there's an option to make an anonymous donation. And I understand if people may want to do anonymous donations for other reasons, but if you want to be into the prize draw, make sure you don't do an anonymous donation. And then finally on that, if you want to enter the prize draw, make sure the donation is done in a single donation to enter you in, if that makes sense. So, of course, you can add more later on and things, but if you want to enter, let's say, the £25 prize draw, make sure you donate the £25 in a single amount so we can see your name appear, because otherwise, if it's across multiple donations, it might get missed. So we might miss your chance to get into the £25 draw if that's the case. So that's pretty much all the admin done. Go ahead, drop a couple of quid. I mean, even me personally, I was dropping a few quid on Fez's show the other night, here and there, and a lot of people put in the chat where. And huge shout out to John Fezzer doing his bit. Again, we had super chats turned off for his live show. You guys were all going over in in swathes, all donating to the fundraiser, and he was doing a great job encouraging that and hyping it up, and yeah, it was a great time. Yeah,
we're raising tons of money for the charity, guys, which is fantastic. And we did want to give a massive thank you from Peter's, especially Peter's daughter, Sophie. Sent me a message and just said, look, next time you're live, guys, can you just say a massive thank you to everyone who's donated so far? They are completely overwhelmed with the amount of support that our fundraiser has received already. And she just wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who's currently involved in that fundraiser, guys.
So, yeah.
Like big shout out as well to Tony P. Sorry, Andy, for dropping 5 Airliners Live gifted memberships. Really appreciate it. Hey, why is that still playing? There we go. There you go, Tony.
Got a bit of a tune as well.
Got a bit of a tune for free as well there, Tony. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, mate. Really appreciate that.
Thank you, Tony. As Martin said, they're on reverse runway ops today. 23 left departures and 05 left departures and 05 right arrivals. So we get an awesome shot of the lineups and the spool ups and the rotations. So stay tuned for some heavy departures throughout the show. We'll try and stick around for the A380, assuming it's not too late, of course. Although we won't see the touchdown, we'll still see the King arriving and pulling up on stand here at Manchester Airport.
We can see donations coming in as well already, guys, from Sweden guy with a £15 donation saying thank you very much for an amazing job, guys. Thank you, dude. Roger Tempero, one of the best names in the community. I love that name. I wish I was called Tempero. There you go, with a £40 plus £10 gift aid. Thank you very much, Roger. Richard P going in with the donation, and an anonymous donation coming in as well 4 minutes ago. We understand people do want to donate anonymously. We had a huge £1,000 anonymous donation, and I know you want to stay anonymous to whoever you are, but mate, whoever you are, thank you so much from all of the Airliners Live team for such a massive donation.
And gift aid as well on that.
With gift aid on top. It's just unbelievable. But if you do want to be included in the prize draw, guys, it's really important that you put your name on your donation so that we can reach out to you.
Yeah. But yeah, you can stay anonymous if you want. But
of course, if you wish,
yeah. So yeah, that's all that out the way. Throughout the show, we've got the counter on the top of the screen there, letting you guys know the progress of the fundraiser. Obviously, we're probably not going to hit 100% today. That's not the goal at all. We are actually running the fundraiser for a total of 2 weeks. So this week is the main week of fundraising. All the live shows will be dedicated towards it. We've left it running for an extra week after this week, just in case people want to get in the fundraiser and are waiting for things like payday and things. So although we won't be pushing the fundraiser next week, it'll still be there active. And then at the end of that week, we will turn it off. And then on the 14th of September, we'll be doing a live show of the prize draw. So the 14th of September, make sure you're available if you want to win a prize. You can always watch that live stream back as well. And then we'll give you guys about a week or two to claim your prize. And if the prize isn't claimed, we'll redraw it at a later date. So make sure you tune into that, even if you've got a couple of days or a week or so to claim that prize. Currently 72%.
It is. It is.
Wasn't it like 62 or something before we started? 63? I can't remember. Wow, okay, I actually, low-key, okay, take it back what I said. I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 100 on this show.
If we hit 100% on this show, guys, I'm just going to be... It'll just mean we can just absolutely smash it on Sunday.
It will.
We'll just smash the target. I don't think we're going to hit 100% on today's show.
No, I've been saying, though, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit it before Sunday, though.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've got a few days left. We've got Henry's show tomorrow as well. And then we've got, like, the Friday and the Saturday as well, where we'll be making posts on social media. Of course, shouting out all the prizes that are available as well. There's loads. It's like, yeah, I mean, you'll have a look at the list. It's huge. Some really good prizes on there. things from like real-world flight experiences, flight sims. We got prints on there. We got loads of aircraft models, high-quality die-cast models. We got vouchers for stores. You name it, there's loads on there. So, and they're all good prizes as well. And it also has who's donated the prizes as well on there.
John, regarding your WhatsApp, I've just checked and there isn't an option for it, unfortunately.
What's that?
Just seeing if we can display the current total, like a text file.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, lovely rotation shot there of the BA 320 Neo.
Yeah, and that's heading back to London Heathrow. Tango November Echo on the reg. And that aircraft 3 years old from 2018.
The shuttle service. Now, tomorrow evening, ladies and gents, I'm personally going to make a little trip, I think, to East Midlands Airport. I want to go and get some content because they're on reverse runway ops at the same time as, Manchester. Similar runway directions. I don't think I'm going to do a live show, mainly because it's Henry's live show tomorrow, and I kind of want the variety to stay as it is.
And also means if we're doing a live show, we can't record in 4K as well.
That's
which is a limitation. But some awesome East Mids content on the way for you guys.
Yep, I've been meaning to go there for a while.
Stephen 6 on Twitch, thank you so much, dude, for becoming a Twitch Prime VIP. Appreciate you, mate.
Thank you.
And Paul saying, I've got a feeling that it's going to be hit today. I'm flying to Palma Sunday morning, so we'll look forward to that. Gutted to miss the big show on Sunday. Hey, Paul, I hope you have a fantastic break, mate. And yeah, I'm sure we will smash it.
Yeah, I have got big faith that we're going to hit it. At least on Sunday, but, there's a big chance we'll hit it before then. It's got a Ryanair 737-800 taxiing out here.
Do you have your camera? Yes, I do have my camera with me today, which is why Andy's on the camera for the show today for you guys. I'm going to be making the most of the last chance we've got to grab these pictures. Unfortunately, they are on the reverse ops, which means that we won't get the pictures that I was after, but we will get these awesome taxi out shots and the rotation shots as well. So something a bit different, actually. I suppose that's well worth doing. And Andy just picking up that London Heathrow service as it made the right hand turn out, and it's now flying out over Alderley Edge and Wilmslow on its way back to London Heathrow. That aircraft climbing up already at 4,000 feet. Great shot there.
Yeah, probably going to disappear into the clouds at some point. I'd love to catch that. It's great to watch the departures. Another thing about 05s is we get a nice long departure shot and watch them going right out if they're making that right-hand departure from Manchester Airport.
So many aircraft pinging up on the ground at the moment as well. Heading down to 05 left, we've got a Smart Jet Hawker Beechcraft 400, which was the biz jet that just went past a moment ago. That's going to be heading out first. Following behind him is a Ryanair to Budapest. And that is going to be heading out 05 left after. Just arriving, just vacated on 05 right, which is our landing runway for today. In from Milan is an EasyJet A320-200. There it is. And the percent is ticking up. We are now at 74% on the charity fundraiser.
Wow.
Let's try and see where we got up to here then. Jill McCormack coming in. We'll give you all a very quick bing bong as well, guys. Jill McCormack, thank you very much for your very generous donation. Michael Pittner, Flight Sim Mike, saying much love from the States with his donation. Thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, if you're not in the UK, you can still send a donation in. That's absolutely fine if you're not watching from the UK. Renee 1628
It was that Hawker Beach Jet. Sorry, BizJet. Beach Jet.
Renee, thank you so much. We just did a quick pause to listen to that awesome sound. Thank you for saying amazing fundraiser. Keep the good works up with a very kind donation. Just as Nick Brown sends a very generous donation in alongside Kevin Henry the 8th as well. Thank you very much, mate. Tasker01 sending in a donation as well, saying a very worthy cause for a very worthy person. 100% Tasker. John H, thank you very much. And Andrew Maroz, thank you very much, guys, for all of your donations coming in the last couple of minutes. Followed by, after a quick refresh, a very generous donation from Alison Rogers, saying such a worthy cause, guys. Thank you very much. Nice one, guys. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in, everyone.
Really smooth and slow rotation there from the Ryanair. What was that plane we were watching last night or yesterday? It was a 727 where it's rotated so slowly.
Yeah,
it's crazy that like the rotation speeds of like old jets compared to new jets. Some of the new jets just seem to like spring up, don't they? Especially like the Neos and things. But then again, so do the 757s as well, and they're not the newest of jets. TUI fly 737-800, just waiting to taxi to the start of 05 left there. We've also got our first wide body of the live show on the taxi out as well. It is an A330. We'll see that soon. I believe on behalf of TUI as well, it's the Wamos 330. I always get them mixed up. I think it's on behalf of TUI.
This is the Jet2 one.
Ah, okay, yeah.
With the EXS call sign heading to Antalya.
You can hear the howl in the background of the 330. Not in view yet.
Is that TUI going to hold for him, I assume, then?
Let's see. Possibly. Could be waiting for the departure slot. 75%.
Guys, You're absolutely smashing it. Every single one of you.
Yeah, I can't even comprehend how fast.
Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we have never, in the history of Airliners Live, been this far along on the donations before we've done the show. Never in the history. Last year, we were really low and we were coming into the show very, very worried.
It was 25%.
It was.
Going into the last day. So we were like, oh, there's no way we're going to hit it. Like, we'll do our best, but come on. And not only did we hit it last time, we smashed through it. The goal was 5,000. And I think with gift aid, we hit something like 7,500. It was nuts.
Guys, you're doing a great job.
There's a Wamos A330 with a beautiful purple and green logo there. As Martin said, they're still doing a flight on behalf of Jet2 at the moment.
Massive shout out and a huge bing bong to Mark Whitaker, saying not able to do the gift aid, so added a handling fee. I encourage the other non-UK residents to do so. That's very kind of you, Mark. You didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much for sending your donations in. And our friend from across the pond, Laurie, going in and saying donating again to help smash that percentage. Thank you so much, Laurie.
Thank you, Laurie. Appreciate that.
Matthew Grosvenor saying, great cause, guys. Thank you very much, Matthew, for your donation. And Wayne Guns going in, saying, keep up the good work, lads. Not many guns here down in the old in the old studio, but I'll give it a go. Cheers, guys.
So we've got a A330 taxiing out to the start of the runway, followed by the 737. It's a great way to test them sound systems.
Certainly is. Now we did set 6,000, as we say, as a bit of a conservative total, as we knew the cost of living issues here in the UK were only going to get worse, and I know we were a bit concerned about that at the beginning. But it appears like we did not have to be concerned at all, because yet again the Airliners Live community just pulling through and absolutely smashing the total. And if we can, with Sophie's total, hit £15,000, then our good friend Peter Hampson will get a permanent memorial at the Christie Hospital with his name on, that his family can enjoy and the Airliners Live community can be proud of as well, guys. Such a huge goal to hit, if we possibly can do, to get a very good friend and a very good mentor of the channel, Peter Hampson, a permanent memorial at the Christie. So as we get closer to our total, we'll be keeping an eye on the combined total to see if we can get anywhere near that. But the funds that we raise here on Airliners Live are being added to Sophie's total already. And during the show today, I will get an updated total from Sophie's page as well.
Yeah, so actually, like, we were kind of not expecting it, but it looks like it's possible to hit that 15k all in all. Like Martin said, we'll get the full total, so we kind of have an idea of what we need to get as a stretch goal, I guess, to raise that 15,000 in total.
And if you're just tuning in, you're wondering what's going on, we are into the week of the Airliners Live fundraiser, but before we speak about that, Wamos A330 blasting off.
There she goes. Honestly, great views today.
Yes, once a year, if you are new to Airliners Live, we do a huge charity fundraiser once a year here. And you are into that week of fundraising starting from Monday. Just gone on the John Fezzer show, who added £1,000 onto the total to kick things off. Good mate of ours, John, absolutely smashed it on his first show. And a big shout out to John and Henry as well, guys, because they get a cut of the donations and things that come in during their show. So super chats and things are very important to them. That's how they get paid for helping Airliners Live out. And both John and Henry both electing to turn super chats off for their streams as well, guys. So a huge gesture from them, essentially doing 2 or 4 shows for free to help towards a charity total, guys. So can we get some Airliners Live love arts in the chat for John and Henry? Obviously myself and Andy also turning super chats off for our 4 shows as well. We want all the money we can. The whole Airliners Live team is behind it to get into that fundraiser, guys. Let's get some hearts in the chat for everyone getting involved on the old fundraiser.
Yep, and that was completely their choice as well. We said to them, we said, you know, you can keep them on if you want, but both of them very, very, very happy to just get involved and do the same.
Yes, this is the first year where we've had other people streaming for us. And we weren't quite sure how to approach it, but both of the guys just said, "Oh, guys, don't even think about it. Turn them off."
Wow, is this a
I was just about to say, Andy, more important, mate, look across. What do we have there?
Oh, hello, look at that. Have you seen this yet?
I have never seen this.
Oh, look how good it looks on in the Air France colours.
Oh.
The C Series, or the Airbus A320, as it's known as, in the Air France colours. The Wookiee. And she's going to need to cross runway 1. Maybe a bit of howl action. But also an Aer Lingus A330. Why is this coming out now?
Let's have a look. That's on its way to Orlando.
Is this really late? Or is it just the time now? Maybe it's a Wednesday thing?
So what got agreed with Fezzer in these haircuts? Did I miss?
I thought you agreed to this, but clearly not.
Well, we spoke about this in the office when we were having our meeting with John, didn't we?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to see what you said, because I know what we said in the office. So I'm going to see whether this has changed or not.
Well, I was under the understanding that it was when we reach a certain amount, we shave our hair. So
okay, and what amount was that you thought
10,
it was?
I thought
10.
it was, yeah.
Right, okay, that's what
So
I thought.
obviously the original goal was 6, and we were like, we might just hit 6, but 10's a proper stretch.
10's a massive stretch.
But, I mean, I think it's possible. But what we said was...
So we're going zips all around if we hit 10?
What number though? Like 0?
Mate,
like,
I'm not doing 0. I'll do like a 2 or something.
Well, I've had a 2 before, and it actually did look like I had no hair.
Yeah, 2 or... Well, maybe a 3 then.
Maybe we'll
eyebrows. No, not eyebrows. I'm not shaving my eyebrows off.
I'm not doing the beard either.
I don't care how much you raise.
I'll do the hair. We kind of need Fezza here for that as well, because I don't think it'd be fair.
Henry's getting on it. Henry definitely won't. No way will we get Henry on that. Oh, hold on. We got that Air France.
Yeah, have a look, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get a yay or a nay in the chat, right? Because we're not a huge fan of the Air France livery. But what do you think of this livery on this plane?
Mega.
It actually just looks so much better. Like, I know it's a good-looking plane. It's very photogenic, the A320, but...
Excluding gift aid, not including gift aid. Has to be 10 plus.
Yeah, because the goal is 6 excluding gift aid, so...
It has to be 10 excluding gift aid.
Yeah.
And Dad, don't get any ideas.
Got a citation there departing. Hey, we've seen this a few times. OK Ha on the reg. A lot of yays in the chat, though.
I must admit, on lockdown,
right,
I zipped my hair on lockdown. Jen helped me, and I really liked it.
You okay? I don't.
And
I don't suit.
And then I did it again afterwards.
Right.
On it's the second lockdown, I think, and I didn't like it the second time round. So I don't know if I used a different number by mistake.
Right.
But I remember doing it and actually going, you know what, I actually quite like this. And I had it, I think I've still got it as my Google like display photo. You know, like you...
yeah.
I don't know where it shows. It definitely shows up on a few things because I keep seeing it.
Like Gmail and that.
Yeah. But my dad trying to... Listen, you've seen me with a skinhead already. Why are you going to pay money to see it again?
The last time I had a skinhead, I was about 16 years old, so... Although I too, during lockdown, had a few lockdown cuts, and they were awful. And I kept them going after lockdown. I was like, you know what? I'm saving quite a bit of money here, you know.
Yeah.
You can pay up to like...
Well, today, I'm not joking, I do not know why my barbers haven't hired an extra person yet. Because you remember I told you in the office like last week or something that my barbers was always really busy and every time you go there's loads of people waiting.
Yeah.
So... I don't know if you guys know, but on a Wednesday, if we're super busy, we go in the office. If we're ahead of the game like we are this week a little bit, we usually have a bit of a chill on a Wednesday morning before we come to the airport and get everything set up. So I thought, right, today's the day. I'm going to get myself all sharpened up, ready for the live stream. And 3 times I drove past, like a few hours in between the thing, and there was at least 3, at one time 4 people waiting. Plus 1 person in the chair, and there's only 1 guy in there. He used to have 2 people in there, but the guy left, and I have a laugh with the guy when we get my haircut and have a chat with him and that. And he says they've just never replaced him, and his boss just tells him to do it. He don't get lunch break or anything. He just cuts hair all day.
Wow.
And there's still, and today I was just trying to get my hair cut, and yeah, I just couldn't do it. So to be honest, hitting this 10 grand may help me out.
I know, I was going to say, if you wait a couple of weeks, you might just get a free haircut. So
I've got the proper zippers, you know, because I bought the only pair in the whole of the UK left at the time where everyone was trying to buy clippers. I went to the most wonky, right, honestly, the most wonky website in existence. And it was one of them websites where you're like, do I put my card details into this website or not? And I did, and they turned up. I couldn't believe it. So I've got like these wild plug-in zippers.
Proper ones.
And my dad had a picture come up on his iPad of when I went round his house and I cut his hair as well. So I've got the real deal. So
I got some quite cheap ones. They're about 15 quid, I think.
So I'd say, Andy, you can trust me, mate. I will give you a good haircut.
Yeah.
My dad may disagree.
I think it should be a live stream as well, mate.
Mate, I'll live stream it.
Yeah. Fezza needs to be there, though. That's the main thing. But
just line us up in a row.
Well, what I was thinking anyway, we've got 100k coming up, maybe soon. Speculation as to what date that'll be. And Fezza was saying how he wants to come over for that and maybe do some celebrations for it. So, if he's coming over anyway, that'd be a good time to do it.
Yeah. Nah, John, that wasn't the photo. That didn't look fresh, that one. I had a picture that actually looked fresh. I'll have to try and dig it out.
Sounds like VIP lounge content.
That is VIP lounge content. And my dad's saying I can put the photo we took round at his, because back before it all started, we didn't have masks or anything. Like, they weren't telling you to wear masks, but obviously me and my dad were like, well, obviously you're allowed to see, what was it, the rule? You're allowed to see like one person in your family if someone lived alone or something.
Yeah, I can't remember.
There's
exactly a lot of different restrictions, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a thing where because my dad lived by himself, I think you could have a recommended or a designated person to go over. So I went over to cut his hair and we were like, well, we're both a little bit worried about this. So we wrapped a tea towel around my face and tied it up. So there's a picture of me just wrapped in a tea towel, just around cutting his hair, which when you think about it now is the most stupid thing ever because it wouldn't have done anything. I'll show Andy.
Well, the lighting's getting really nice for these aircraft that are taxiing out.
Actually, no.
Wait, what? Look at this.
There you go, guys.
Look. What? It's landed on 205 left.
Oh, mate, that's what I'm talking about.
What? Is this just a one-off? Yo, mate, that's great. He just showed me the photo. You can share the camera, that I guess.
I've just shown the camera. Like an idiot.
Wait, have they closed runway 2 already?
Mate, if they've closed runway 2, I am going to be the happiest person alive because I really wanted these touchdown landing shots.
They did it on my birthday as well, last week on Wednesday. Remember they did the same? Mate, that is amazing if that's the case.
Thug life, I know. Looked like I was going to rob his house. Oi, who's all your DVDs?
Police start showing up before he lets you in. Like, who's this?
I only knocked on.
It's the tea towel burglar.
Yeah, please don't donate more than you can afford, guys, as Loopy's saying in the chats.
Yeah. Speaking of Loopy and all the moderators, pretty much almost all of them are donated. Not only their time to help out, but also some of them have donated money as well. So appreciate it,
thanks,
guys.
mods.
Yeah, you don't have to, but...
And John saying, on the ATIS, we now have single runway ops.
Yes!
Let's go!
Nice one, John. Appreciate it. There you go. Glad you brought your camera now, aren't you?
I am very glad.
Shame our mate didn't land on 05 left.
Ian Shuttleworth, yes, I will. Yeah.
That means if the sun stays out, you could potentially get just an unbelievable photo of the A380 touching down later.
Now, do I want to get the full A380 in the shot, or do I go full zoom into the wheels and get something a bit unique, get all them wheels touching down at once?
I'd personally get the full one, just because the lighting will be like...
Okay.
Because you could probably get that shot with not great lighting. But look at that. Speaking of lighting, look at the engines on this.
I know, I'm trying to just...
Glorious.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not gonna mess around with that overlay right now, guys. Just because, yeah, I'm gonna leave it as it is for now. So I don't want to be messing around with overlays while we're live.
What is it?
People are saying it's quite hard to read the black text. I'll make sure that's fixed for Sunday, guys.
Yeah.
But if you're just tuning in and you can help us out, ladies and gentlemen, follow the fundraising links in the chats from all the mods posting them. There's John. Donate here. Help us towards our fundraising total. We've not even got to the Sunday show yet, and we're already over 80%, guys.
80%? Wow.
Keep smashing those donations coming in.
We only had like 63 at the start of the show. And what are we, not even an hour in? Keep going, everyone. Fantastic view there of the Ryanair 737 with the CFM engines lit up.
Air chance, that's on the way out.
Oh, yo.
And while that's taxiing past, we'll focus on that. Couple of smaller aircraft behind. What a treat.
Yeah, what a treat. Canadian operator that flies here at Manchester Airport to Toronto. Operating the A330 today.
Well, let's catch up, shall we? With the bing bongs coming in from Ian Shuttleworth saying, I met Peter many years ago at the TAS meetings at MIA. Rest in peace, fella. From Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. I'm glad you got to meet Peter, mate. He was a fantastic gentleman. He really was. Reach on Air DJ, thank you very much for your kind donation, saying this is from Radio DJ Sparky Paul, as you can't donate, but I can do it. Keep up the good work you do. We have shared you around the world. Thank you very much, guys. That's super appreciated.
Cheers all. Is this a Neo going out? Look at the engines on this.
It is. Richard Drinkwalker, thank you very much for your very generous donation, mate. An anonymous donation coming in, and another anonymous donation saying keep up the good work. Linda Davies, thank you for your donation. Colin Driver, thank you to you, saying great cause, well done, Airliners Live. Dave Wild saying hope you double your goal. Just been diagnosed with prostate cancer, so more than happy to donate, Dave. I'm very sorry to hear that, mate. I hope you get some fantastic treatment and you're back to full health very soon, Dave. The whole community is behind you, mate. And thank you very much for your very generous £100 donation as well. That really does mean a lot, Dave. And Glynis Swinnerton, thank you very much for your very generous £50 donation as well. Guys, you're absolutely smashing the target. Absolutely smashing it. Keep them coming in. Let's do it. Let's see how we can do today.
We get radar open so I can just see when things are coming in as well.
And if you're watching on Twitch, guys, we're not leaving you out. You guys can donate as well. Links are in the chats.
Yeah,
Big
appreciate
thanks
it,
to everyone tuning in on Twitch as well.
Thank you all. Do appreciate it. A lot of aircraft.
Some community support in the chat for Dave as well, guys.
Yeah. A lot of aircraft waiting to use the runway for the departure. I believe there's a Ryanair lined up and ready to go at the front.
Yeah, nothing on approach for a minute.
Okay, cool.
So it'll just be a queue by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the radar open just so I can see things coming in. Yeah, stay strong, Dave. Look after yourself.
And his first Ryanair rolling off to Billund. Nice smooth rotation.
Nice. Have you turned that down a bit? Or is that?
No.
Oh, right, okay. It just seemed a bit quiet in mine.
I can pop it up a bit. I may have accidentally nudged it at some point.
No worries.
Let's have a look. What's next to line up is going to be a TUI 737-800 to Fuerteventura. We can just see that lining up now. Behind him, we have another Ryanair to Rhodes and then our Toronto service. We may slot in an arrival at some point in amongst that and the next arrival. Just making the left turn from its base leg is the Sun Express 737-800 in from Dalaman.
Yes, we love the Sun Express. Because that Ryanair just departing. I'm looking out for the right-hand departures because they look awesome from this spot. Here goes the 273. Them split scimitar winglets as well. Off to Fuerte Ventura. Probably will make the right-hand turn, heading down to, well, Africa, really.
Thank you very much for the anonymous donation that's come in to the charity stream. We really appreciate that. Russell Swift, thank you very much for your donation, saying magnificent cause. You're going to smash the target from Rustdog72. Thank you very much, mate. Joan Sonicliffe, happy to donate, but sorry I can't do gift aid. No worries at all, Joan. That's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for your very generous donation, Joan. Stephen Fairbrother, thank you very much for your £10 donation, saying great works, guys. Really appreciate it, Stephen. Another anonymous donation coming in, and again followed by another anonymous donation as well. Thank you very much, everyone, for supporting us today. What's going on here? There's even more have come in. We will catch them straight after this, Jetty.
Yep. As she goes, the Jet 737.
And Kathy Shepherd, thank you for your donation coming in. Lauren Howard, another generous donation coming in, saying an amazing community with an amazing cause. Thank you very much, Lauren. And Sunny23K, the latest donation coming into the Airliners Live 2022 charity fundraiser going to the Christie Foundation, guys, the Christie Hospital. Sonny saying a wonderful tribute for Peter. Thank you very much, mate, for your very kind donation, dude. That puts us to 82%. And we're not even at the Sunday show yet, guys. Unbelievable.
Yes. Like we said last year, we were only at 25% at the start of the Sunday show, and we still managed to smash the target. So this year, well, high hopes, I guess. Great departure shot there of the Loganair ATR 72, climbing out of Manchester Airport, heading up to the clouds now. Did anyone see the Wamos depart as well? That crazy, like, it turned immediately. Like, as soon as it was out of the runway, it was just like banking right and then left. Awesome to see. Biscuit Airlines. Yeah. I think the next movement we'll have is the Sun Express 737-800 from Dalaman.
Yes, that's just about such that. I'll grab a picture of that.
Yeah, that'll be a great shot. Have a look at this, folks. Hey, folks. And two aircraft there on the way out as well, but eyes to the skies as just at 400 feet now is the Dalaman origin on the Sun Express flight 504. One of our favourite liveries personally on the stream.
Dry Dock, I think it is only monthly, mate. I've never heard of a multi-month membership on YouTube, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Very windy here at Manchester as well. Very smoothly done by the Sun Express pilots. And in the sun here, the Ryanair 73. Yeah, it's pretty choppy here at Manchester today. And And that's going to make the intersection right ahead of us.
Look at that light.
Nuts. Maybe turn up the audio a bit for this. It's so close. It's going to spool up right ahead of us. Hopefully make a fantastic sound as well.
There's a lot of wind noise coming from somewhere, though.
Yeah, it is very windy.
Is that our external, is it?
Yeah, I mean, look at the windsock.
Oh, wow.
It's just relentless. Very much favouring 05s. Wind's really picked up here at Manchester. Wasn't like this when we started. Used a lot of runway, obviously, because it didn't start till late. Ryanair 737.
Those guys just catching G-Calc on the screen. Because when you're doing a full screen output on OBS, obviously Windows goes, oh, but you still want to use that monitor though, don't you?
Oh, yeah, the calculator.
Crazy. Unbelievable. You think when you do a full screen output on OBS, it would disable the output for Windows so that it can't use it, but there you go.
That makes sense. Calculate air.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, as a flying architect says, this is the last evening show because the RVP hours are going back to normal.
Yep.
So the Wednesday streams are going to be heading back to mornings. So we're going to be live from 10 a.m. on those instead.
I'm sure we'll be the only aviation stream that does that change.
Yeah, I'm sure we will as well. Watch everyone miraculously follow. Well, not everyone, maybe just one stream in particular. From London.
Oh, smooth touchdown there, considering the conditions. On the EasyJet A320 in from Santorini. I do love the shot you get of the touchdowns when they're on 05 left arrivals here at the Runway Visitor Park. It's where we're streaming from today. London controller.
Yeah.
And a aircraft arriving next as well, which I've never heard of that airport where it came from. Kalamata.
Oh no, I've not either.
KLX is the code on that. Kalamata. Anyone know where that is? James Sadler saying we've got OBYF coming in as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yep, that's on the base leg, just about to turn onto the ILS in from Rhodes, the 2E767.
And let's get some more donations read out. Guys, Alan Sharples, thank you very much for your donation, saying, good luck, guys. The best on the net. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Alan. That's very kind of you, mate.
Thank you, Alan.
Another anonymous donation coming in. Don't forget, guys, you need to be putting your names on if you want to be included in the prize draw. Really important. We don't mind people donating anonymously, but if you want to be included in the prize draw, guys, you have to put your names on. Thank you very much for your anonymous donation. And Anne sending in a £25 donation, who's Tom's partner. And thank you very much to Anne and Tom, who've also donated a prize of £50 worth of Airliners Live vouchers for the merch store. A big shout out to those guys. Let's get some 10 out of 10s in the chat for Anne and Tom, guys.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And we've just had a massive donation come in as well. Since I've just refreshed, guys, another 4 donations have come in. We've got Martin sending in a £25 donation saying, great cause. As I can't give gift aid, I've added a small contribution. Thanks for the shows and all the best to you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, dude. Jim H, thank you very much for your donation, Jim. Really appreciate that. Craig Partington, thank you very much, mate, saying great work, guys. And Sandra Wooddock with a very generous donation, saying my husband passed from bowel cancer 5 years ago. Here's just a little contribution to carry on the great work. Well, Sandra, thank you so much for your very kind donation. I'm really sorry to hear that you lost your husband to cancer. Hopefully we can raise as much money as possible for research so that less people in our community and in our families and friends are lost to cancer in the future. But Sandra, thank you so much for supporting the fundraiser this year in your husband's memory. We are now less than £1,000 away from the £6,000 target, and we're not even at the Sunday show yet, guys.
Yeah, the Sunday is when we're going to go all out, you know.
Yeah,
and obviously it's our biggest show of the week.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your very kind donations.
Nuts today.
Unbelievable. I can't believe we're at over £5,000 and we're not even at the show yet. You guys are just unbelievable.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work behind the scenes in running the fundraiser as well, getting like the prizes in, posting on social media, and just doing everything we can to try and get the donations in, and you guys just smashing it, you know. So the TUI 767 will be next to touchdown, but is this the Air Transat?
The Air Transat's lined up.
Only just lined up now.
And the 76 isn't far behind him, Andy, so it may be a quick turn and burn on this one.
Yeah. Here we go. Great view there, the Transat A330.
Strange light. It seems like we're dark on the field, but
yeah,
the sun's passing through on the other side.
There we go, it's in the sun now though.
But Doc 57, a very warm welcome to Premium Economy, mate. Thank you very much for supporting the channel today by becoming a VIP. It's very kind of you, mate.
Thank you so much.
Oh, what am I putting my camera down for? 7-6 announced a touchdown.
Yeah, OBYF about to touch down. Sam's in the chat saying big up TA. Didn't you fly on OBYF, Sam? Once upon a time. Here she is, the 767 in from Rhodes. As per what I said regarding every week we're going to upload a new cinematic 4K video to the YouTube channel. I've got one ready for this week. It is 05 action, basically. A lot of departure clips on there as well, and arrivals. So they'll be up this week. I think it's mostly arrivals, actually, from Wood End Lane, mostly golden hour. So I'll get that up on Friday. So that means, once again, every day of the week we have some kind of action, bar the Saturday. In fact, last week we had action on the Saturday as well. We were live from Liverpool Airport, capturing all the air show, planes that were operating for real air show. So we had, I was going to say the full BBMF there, but the Dakota still missing. But we also had the Eurofighter Typhoon as well. Blackjack over at Liverpool Airport. Nice experience spotting there as well. You get a great view, especially of runway 27 arrivals and departures. Probably not as great when they're on 09s. I love that shot there. Nasty. TUI 767. We'll stick with her. Look at the engines in the light there as well. Thank you for all the donations throughout today's show, all going towards the fundraiser and all going towards the Christie charity with the official week of fundraising ending this Sunday. Although if you can't make a donation this week, you can also make it next week.
Okay. Just on the roll on the runways is Ryanair to Bordeaux. How you doing? You alright? Great to see you.
Yeah, one moment, ladies and gents. Just going to jump off for a split second. Hello, how's it going?
Oh, good lad. God, lad, we've got a few goodies coming in here. Thank you very much. We will introduce who has just come in to the studio. Just bear with me, guys. A couple of minutes off mic. I'll leave you with Andy for a second.
Here we go, Logan Air ATR 72. I mean, this will be loud enough to fill any quiet air. Look at them blurry props as well in the sunlight. A Scottish plane in the sun. That looks glorious. Tango Echo on the registration. And there's a cover there as well. Looks a bit like an emergency exit. That's actually a cover that goes over the outer skin of the fuselage. And I believe that is to protect the body from any icing and things that may fly off the props, basically, and hit the body. Especially useful in winter as well. Another biz jet switching down. How blurry the background looks. They need to speed the shutter back up. I like to change things around on the camera based on what we're looking at. Like yoink, like that. And I can hear something making a noise. What could it be? I can't see anything on the way out. Oh, I can. It's a KLM 737. This will be heading back to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. We've seen a bit of KLM at Manchester. Usually the bluest thing you'll see on the stream, but today there's a bit of blue sky.
And right, ladies and gentlemen, we will get the picture-in-picture on as we say hello to Mark. I don't know if you can see him there in the background. There he is, has just joined us for about an hour or so on today's stream. If you give me your iPad a second, I will open up the chat so you can see what
you need it on that.
People are saying. Do you want the chat on that one? There we go. Yeah, Mark, we obviously won't disclose who he flies for, but he is a pilot here at Manchester Airport. And he's come up to say hello and to have a chat with you guys on the stream, get involved in the fundraiser. Enjoy this departure just while I get Mark set up with the chat, guys. Oh, you got it already. Amazing.
There goes the EasyJet aircraft. We've also got a Sun Express Max this time. heading in from Antalya, which is their base down in the south of Turkey. Sun Express, I believe they only operate the 2 destinations here at Manchester. That'll be the next to arrive. I think they're going to hold the departing aircraft, although, no, they're not. I can see a Logan Air, which is the ATR 72 from before, already on the runway. Not much space between this and the Sun Express.
Just stick with YouTube.
I wouldn't be surprised if this Sun Express goes around here, if I'm honest.
Okie dokie. Sun Express, yeah, he's quite... nah, he's got time.
Yeah.
He's got time.
He held...
Because this will get off quite quickly.
True, yeah.
Let me just...
There we go, already up in the air. Beautiful shot there. The Sun Express ATR.
And mods, obviously you guys know a bit more about Mark than everybody else. We're obviously going to keep things like who he flies for and stuff between us for this one, just to give you the heads up. But here we are. So Mark is joining us here in the upstairs studio for the fundraiser.
Yep.
But you're a viewer of the channel as well.
Oh, I am, yeah, all the time, and my family and my wife and kids are too, because they live a long way away.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm very grateful that you've invited us along today, especially for the fundraiser for the Christie. Absolutely amazing charity, well worth. So dig deep, peeps. Get your hands in your pockets.
Yeah, they're absolutely smashing the target already. We are already over £5,000. Shirley, Dev, don't worry. We can. Mark can see Twitch chat on my laptop. It's just on his phone. We've kept him. So this is a Twitch chat.
Cool.
You're seeing the YouTube chat, but the YouTube chat is also there as well. So you can see a few people saying hello to you here.
Yep.
But yeah, so you fly in and out of Manchester quite regularly?
Yep, yeah, every day. It's my home base. I
Yeah.
see Susan's asked what's my favourite airport to land at. Well, it used to be Newcastle, because I used to be based there, and now I like Manchester.
Yeah.
It's a good airport.
And any preference on 05 left or 05s or 23s?
I like 5 right, which
Yeah.
I landed on about an hour ago, 2
Yeah.
hours ago. 2-3 right's fine. 2-3. 05 left has a funny picture when you're coming in. It looks
Okay.
a bit funny. It's just the way that the runway is. But the good thing is with the 320 Neos, when you come into land, the rad out will call out 50, 40, 30. And 30, you wait, pitch up a little bit. 20, close the thrust levers. And what the Neo does, it gives you a call at 5. And when you hear 5, just give a little tweak. And it just greases it on. It's nice.
There you go. And that's how to grease an Airbus, folks.
That's it. Yeah.
And
Without the 5 call, you'll hammer it in.
and I know what you're going to say, but when you turn around,
there it is.
this is your
Queen of the
favourite
skies.
aircraft, isn't it? You've
Yeah.
told us a few times when we spoke
Yeah.
privately before.
Yeah. I flew it for 3.5 years. I absolutely loved every second of it.
Are you able to say who you used to fly
Yeah,
that
it was a
for?
company called Australis. They're no longer with us, but Bruce Dickinson, the Iron Maiden singer, was one of the pilots there. And I actually flew the Iron Maiden tour aircraft just before I left to come to my current airline. But that is a fantastic airliner. It's beautiful to fly. The controls are beautiful. It handles beautifully. It's massively overpowered. The only downside is it burns far too much fuel these days.
Yeah.
And the bean counters don't like that.
No, I'm sure they don't. But in terms of plane spotting, Manchester's very lucky with the 75s.
Yeah.
We've probably got the most out of any of the, I'd say, live streaming locations in the UK.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know East Mids is potentially a challenge to that, but Jet2 are really kind of keeping them alive here at Manchester.
Yeah, it's so versatile. There's nothing can replace it at the moment.
No.
It's so versatile. We used to do little hops from Gatwick to Paris. We used to go on then to Djibouti near Somalia. We used to fly down to sub-Saharan Africa. It will just, you can put all the passengers on, put all the cargo on, fill it up 34 tons of fuel, and it'll just fly forever. It's just absolutely beautiful aircraft to fly.
Yeah, I bet. And it's definitely a channel favourite, a lot in the chat. There is a particular channel viewer, Mr. Paul Davies, who's actually a moderator, who loves the 757. It's one of his favourite aircraft. We do have, actually, one of my favourite newer aircraft, which we see on the stream, just pinging up, the Air France A220. So they're operating the A220, and so they're quite new for us to see that. Have you heard much about the 220, or...?
I know there was when the CS series first came out with those Pratt & Whitney engines, they had a lot of problems with them. Those Swiss ended up grounding theirs at one point.
Right.
There was some real problems with these geared new generation engines. They've got massive windows on the fuselage, and the cabin windows are really big. You get a great view out of them. The flight deck's very modern. A lot more modern than what we're using at the moment.
Yeah.
And they look gorgeous, don't they?
They do, and they sound great as well. Those geared engines.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of an emote which we use, guys. If you want to just spam that emote in the chat, just to show Mark what I'm talking about. But there is an emote which we use for that of a certain Wookiee, and we know it does make a bit of a Wookiee howl.
Yeah, I saw your Wookiee video the other day. Yeah.
You saw that just pop up from the bottom. But
Yeah.
they do sound great, and we're going to have that taxiing right past us. Amazing. Looking
Brilliant
forward to
bit
it.
of
But
kit.
first of all, let's turn the audio up.
The Queen of the Skies.
Here we go. Enjoy it. Well, not quite. That's a 70. It might be held by a certain 7.4.
Well, yeah, we haven't got any at the moment, have we?
But we have not. I suppose you're right. Here you go. Enjoy the audio on this, guys. Rocketing off, absolutely rockets off. It's on its way to Rhodes with Jet 2, of course.
And also another contender for Queen of the Skies as well. Another one that you don't really see flying anymore. Here at the RVP, of course. Just in there.
Concorde,
Alpha
of course. Charlie.
Yeah.
Have you had a look round Alpha Charlie yourself?
Yeah.
Thoughts and feelings on the old Concorde?
Should still be flying, shouldn't it?
You would love to see it
They
flying
should all
again.
be flying.
So obviously Mark is an Airbus captain. If anyone wants to ask any questions about being a pilot, or maybe questions about here at Manchester Airport or things, feel free to get them in the chat as well.
Yeah, and as we say, Mark is here for the next hour or so to answer any of you guys' questions, and of course to keep encouraging the donations coming through to the channel. Just on the taxi out, we've got an A321 from Jet2, and although not their newer aircraft purchase, we better get used to this shape, as it's going to be here a lot more at Manchester with the huge order of A321 Neos from Jet2.
Yep, this is Yankee Bravo, which is one of the ex-Thomas Cook aircrafts. I think they've got two of them, Yankee Alpha and Yankee Bravo. And then Yankee Foxtrot is, I believe, ex-Condor, but did operate for Thomas Cook for a little while. So another aircraft that we would have seen in the history books here at Manchester. Obviously, Thomas Cook used to fly a lot of 321s, and obviously the famous Thomas Cook 330s as well, with the beautiful big grey tails with the hearts on them.
And a couple of questions coming in the chat. And after you said you flew the 7.5, I think it's only fair that we let Mr. Paul Davies have the first question. And Paul says, have you ever performed a full power takeoff on a 757?
Yes, have a few times. We used to fly to contaminated runways up in Kazakhstan, and the runway was so rough we had to use full power.
Of course.
And flaps 20 to get off the runway because you couldn't see the instruments. We've done it quite a few times. Funnily enough, we did take off once out of Salzburg, and we derated the engines as much as we were allowed to. And you can derate them twice in the climb. So we had maximum derate on takeoff, maximum derate in the climb, and we hit 42,000 feet in 13 minutes.
And for people in the chat who may not know, what would derate do?
You'd very rarely take off at full power. Engines are expensive, and when you, like your car engine, if you use full power all the time, it's not going to last very long. So we use less power for takeoff, and it saves the wear on the engines. It burns a little bit more fuel, but it's much better for the very, very expensive engines. So we used the minimum amount of power we were legally allowed to use to take off, and we kept the minimum amount of power all the way up to 42,000 feet and hit in 13 minutes, whereas a normal aircraft would take, if it could get to 42,000, would take about half an hour to do it.
Crazy.
But like I said, it's the fuel burn. I downloaded a flight plan. I found an old flight plan from Gatwick to Murcia. And then I got a 321 Neo flight plan from Gatwick to the new Murcia. The 75 does that trip in 1 hour 55 minutes. The 321 Neo does it in 2 hours and 15. So 20 minutes longer.
Yeah.
The 7.5 burns 7 tonnes of fuel. 321 Neo burns 5.1.
There you go.
So
Huge
nearly
saving.
2 tonnes of fuel.
Huge saving.
And when it's nearly £1,000 a tonne.
And here we go. Not the Neo, but the A321 just on its way out. And we are 10% away from the target, guys.
Really?
10% away. We will catch up on your donations after this departure.
Well, we can really see the wind playing a part on the rotation there.
Yeah, quite blustery today, is it, Mark?
Yeah, it was quite lumpy. From about 3,000 feet down to 1,000 feet, it was surprisingly lumpy. Not bad, but it was lumpy. And then as you get nearer the ground, it smoothed out a bit. But it was still quite turbulent nearer the ground.
Yeah.
You're seeing that playing a bit of an effect on that takeoff there. The windsock here, slightly variable, but definitely favouring 0.5s today. And let's very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, and I say very quickly, but I suspect there's quite a few we need to catch up on here, catch up with your donations. So let me have a quick scroll through and just check where we got up to. And first of all, with the Bing Bongs, we have Rachel Dawes. Thank you very much for your donation, saying, I would like to donate a voucher for your merchandise store as a prize in the draw. No problem at all, Rachel. If you use the contact form on our website, send us a message and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But that's very kind of you, Rachel. Thanks very much.
Thank you so
Rachel
much.
Also says, having had cancer treatment myself this year, it is a very good cause. Well, I'm glad to hear that, or I hope that you're doing better now, Rachel. And hopefully your treatment was a success. Thank you very much for your donation today. Matt Healy, thank you very much for your donation, saying a fantastic cause. G. Phil saying good luck with the charity fundraiser, guys. My mother passed away nearly 10 years ago due to acute myeloid leukemia. So this is a great cause. Yeah, unfortunately, Phil, it is something that's touching many people's lives, and we need to get this sorted out, which is why obviously the Christie puts so much money towards research as well, which is super important. Thank you very much for your donation, mate. Nick Story, thanks for your very generous donation. Sadly, I never had the chance to meet Peter, but I heard so much about him on Airliners Live. A great choice for this year's charity event, certainly, Nick. It really is. And I know Peter's daughter and family are just extremely grateful as well. To the community. Owen Flemmo, moderator, friend of the channel, going in with a very generous donation. Thank you, mate. Says, I'm incredibly proud of the community at Airliners Live. Love to be a part of the team. Here's a little donation for an amazing charity who looked after a legend of a man. Thank you very much, Owen. Really appreciate that.
Cheers, Owen. That's very kind words as well.
Tina going in with a huge £100 donation.
Whoa.
Thank you very much, Tina, saying great show, great hosts and a great cause. Thank you very much, Tina. That's very kind of you.
Thank you, Tina. Appreciate it.
Steve saying enjoy your show, keep up the good work with Steve's donation. Thank you so much, Steve. Doug T, chin up to newly diagnosed Dave. Certainly, Doug, we're all behind him. And from a fellow bloke in remission, it does get easier, believe me, says Doug, with a very generous donation. Thank you very much, Doug, and I hope you continue to stay well, mate. And it's great to have you with us in the community.
Cheers, Doug. Appreciate it. Wow.
Vic Ward, thank you so much for your very generous £10 donation. We really appreciate that. No message. Melissa saying just a mini donation. Lots of love. Lots of love, boys. Great work and great lads raising money for an amazing cause. It really is, Melissa. Thank you so much for your donation and gift aid, of course, as well. Jim C saying Target getting smashed, guys. Great cause. I lost my mum to cancer in 2019. Yeah, so many people have been affected by this. Jim, thank you very much for your very generous donation supporting the fundraiser, mate. And I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Malky Stoddart, thank you very much for your donation, saying a wee contribution from me in the way of a thank you for the great community and all its love, support and laughs. Keep up the amazing work and generosity. Thank you very much, Malky, mate. That's really kind of you, dude, and a very generous donation as well. And finally, before we refresh, Chris A. from Sussex saying, great cause, great stream. Well done, lads. Thank you very much, guys. And an updated total for you people tuning in is £5,506. We are 91% less than £500 away from the target, and we're not even at the Sunday show yet. Can we hit £6,000 before we go offline today, folks? Can we do it? If you can, if you've not put your donation in, let's smash that target before we even get to Sunday, shall we? And then anything we raise on Sunday is simply a bonus. So what a crazy, crazy day.
So Martin, that money you had to one side that was meant to go towards your haircut today,
yes,
you might as well just put that in the pile as well.
I might as well. Absolutely. I'm going to be getting a number one by looks of it, because I don't know if you know, Mark, but we've said quite foolishly that if we hit £10,000 we're all shaving our heads.
Sounds like we've got.
And because you're up here with a microphone on, you're included, mate.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good, yeah. Sounds good. I'll grow me beard, it'll look like I'll put my head on that side.
That is Ryanair in from Copenhagen. Next question coming in from Craig from Mark says, what's your favourite airport to land at?
Well, it was Newcastle, now it's Manchester.
And favourite airport to land at abroad?
Oh, I like Belfast.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice easy day out, that Belfast and back. At night, it's the longest runway, it's good. Any long runways, I don't like short runways like Jersey, the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Makes the heart beat too much.
Does it?
Yeah, I've heard Isle of Man in particular is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, I've been in there on some vile evenings.
I must admit, Jersey was a favourite of mine in the sim.
Yeah.
Now, when you're coming in over the island, that's all right. But when you're coming in the other way, now this was in the sim, and I assume it's 10 times worse in real life. You're coming in, and the airport's right on the edge of the island, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just is such a weird perspective.
Yeah.
Do you find that when you're coming into Jersey? Have you landed on that direction?
Yeah, I have recently in a strong wind, funnily enough. Yeah, you're looking at the touchdown point on the runway, the big thick white markers in over just opposite us now, and that's what you're aiming for. And you keep the picture and the shape of the runway the same all the way down. You've got your ILS on your PFD showing you whether you're lined up with the runway, if you're on the right approach path. And there are funny airports like that. He didn't use much.
I was going to say, he's off early, isn't he? He's not messing about.
There are runways where you get a funny visual perspective. If you land on 07 left at Barcelona, it's got a massive load of airport before you get to the runway, so it just looks a bit weird. But again, you set your pitch, you set your power, you fly it towards the runway, and as soon as you hear the call outs, you get ready, and it just works out.
And that's it. And for the people who are into flight sim, because I know there's a lot of Twitch guys, how far out from the runway do you stop focusing on pappies and just focus on instruments and visuals?
Pappies really, you ignore them below 200 feet.
Below 200.
It depends on the airport. Sometimes you can't see them very well at all. A long way out, it's purely on the instruments. When you start getting closer, when you take the autopilot out, if you're flying a Boeing autopilot, auto thrust out, you're concentrating on that. You're looking at your instruments, keeping the airspeed in the scan. It's a scan of the instruments. You're just scanning all the time. Bring the pappies into it, and as you get nearer the runway, you're looking out more than you're looking in.
Yeah.
And it's just a practice thing, you get used to it.
One of the smaller Airbuses we'll probably see today, in from Lufthansa, A319, and that's in from Munich. And another 757 filling up our frame from Jet2.
Yeah, Alpha India, the oldest in the Jet2 fleet.
And that's on its taxi out for Dalaman, closely followed behind by the Aer Lingus Regional ATR heading over to Belfast.
So I had a question for Mark, actually, looking at that aircraft, because I personally flew to Greece on board that 75 there just a couple of weeks ago. This is a bit of a random question, but during the flight, it was a pretty smooth flight. A number of times the flight deck opted to turn on the seatbelt signs with very little turbulence. Now, is there like an actual written rule with this, or is it like, are you looking at the weather radar, or are you kind of just feeling the aircraft yourself, or is it just playing it by eye basically?
It's a bit of all of that. There isn't an unwritten rule as such. With a longer aircraft like that, they're going to feel it more down the back.
Right. Okay.
We don't want anyone to get hurt. And also, if it's a particularly bumpy day, it was a bit rough coming up today from where I've been, and we could hear people on the radio talking to air traffic asking for ride reports. Is it bumpy up ahead? And we got a few light bumps. We asked ahead. The guy ahead said, yeah, well, it's light to moderate. And we were like, well, we don't want to do that. So we descended down 2,000 feet where it was nice and smooth. But if you can hear ahead, people are saying on the radio, what's the ride like? We're getting light, moderate bumps, whatever. You know it's going to be rough, so you can preempt it by putting the belts on. Get everyone sat down. Then they're safe. Seat belts are on, everyone sat down. Weather radar, if you're dodging some thunderstorms, convective cloud, really you want people, if you're getting, if there's a lot of them, you want people strapped down. You just don't want anyone to get hurt. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So it's more of like a situational awareness thing where probably you guys have got a lot more information than maybe what the passengers have got, and the passengers may think, there's not much going on, but that makes total sense. I'm just going to quickly put a jacket on, stand by, because it's definitely Scotch breeze.
You're getting a bit chilly, are you?
Just a little bit.
Fine, me.
Just a little bit.
This Ryanair aircraft is a Ryanair UK aircraft with the Golf registration on her. Romeo uniform Kilo Alpha on the reg. Kilo Alpha, that must be like the number one surely in their fleet. UK Alpha. 737-800. Where's she heading off to? Valencia, over in Spain.
Okay, that's what I just realised we had the aircon on as well. Probably not necessary today.
I didn't even know.
So Mark's picked out a question in the chats.
Yeah, Terry was asking if I've ever landed in Skiathos. I have many, many years ago on a 757.
Ooh.
A lot less scary on a 757.
And it's less scary on a 75 because the runway's so short.
Yeah, but it's got twice as many wheels, twice as many brakes, and great big engines with great big reversers.
Right.
And it flies a bit slower. The 73 that I flew, the 700, the final approach speed was considerably quicker. The Airbus, it depends on your flap setting, can be a little bit quicker. Maybe if you're going in flap 3, a less flap setting, it's a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 75's got twice as many wheels on the main undercarriage, twice as many brakes. It stops beautifully. And with the 75 and the 73 have an automatic braking system.
Yeah.
And you can set it. There's different numbers. 1 being mild for a long runway, and 4 being Jersey. And you can set it to how hard you want the brakes to come on. So, I mean, I used to go in the 75 into Chambry, so it's a short 2,000 metre runway in a valley, and it performs beautifully.
And is there an art to Skiathos? Because again, going back to the sim, it's always a slammer for me into Skiathos. Is that due to the runway slope? Because the runway slopes up quite a lot, or you've really not got much time to. Maybe I think what happens is, and I know a few mates of mine who fly, you always slam it into Skiathos. And is that because of the ground effects, or you're a lot lower than you think? That's kind of what I feel.
It's only 30 metres wide.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't look right.
Because I always find that I think I'm perfect.
Yeah.
But the second you come over the concrete, you're a lot lower than you think you are.
Yeah. If you go off the rad out again, wait for the 50, 40, 30, slight check, 20, close the thrust levers and hold it. It's because it's only these runways are 45 metres wide.
Yeah.
So when it's 30 metres wide, it doesn't look right. And we do training every 6 months in the simulator. They always put narrow runway training in because we use Mykonos, Skiathos. We've got a few, and it doesn't look right. It's not the usual picture out the window you're used to. But if you do it off the numbers, it'll generally work. It's just because it's 30 metres wide. It's not wide. It's a narrow runway.
And off blast the 757, the second we've seen today, on its way to Dalaman in the Jet2.com scheme.
Yeah, as Martin said, we're so lucky to see so many 75s.
Yeah.
I was saying the only comparable I could think in terms of passenger 75s is probably Reykjavik, with all the Iceland Air 75s they have.
Yeah.
A lot of Maxes there last time I was up there a couple of months ago.
Oh yeah.
A lot of Maxes.
Switching over to them, aren't they?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to transfer any of the really arty liveries over to the Maxes at all, or whether they're just going to stick with the simple now.
They've got the new one, haven't they, with the different colours on the different on the leading edge of the vertical stabiliser. They've got a different colour to it. One represents the northern lights.
Oh, sorry. So I thought you meant they'd put all of them on the same plane.
Oh,
no.
No.
Yeah, the new colours. That's kind of good for the plane spotters to catch.
Yeah.
But it'd be awesome to see them maybe transfer like the Heckler Aurora over to a Max would be quite cool.
That'd be good.
Question from John, moderator, but very avid flight sim pilot. He runs our flight sim shows every week. And John says, I hear a lot of pilots prefer the 19 to the 20. Is that the same for you?
Yes. Yeah, it's like a little sports car. It handles nicely. It responds well. My least favourite is probably the CEO 320 with the sharklets. They are they don't respond very quickly. The 319, you put an input in and it moves. The Neos are quite responsive. They're nice. The older 320s are a little bit wallowy. The ones with the sharklets, sometimes you end up having a bit of fight with the stick. It's not like a Boeing where you can feel the aircraft. In a windy down a Boeing, you take the autopilot out, auto thrust out, you get the feel of it from a long way out. You want to feel what the wind's doing.
Yeah.
With the Airbus, you're fighting a load of French computers. You end up in an argument with them. The way the system works, I'm not going to go into detail, but it remembers what you've asked it to do. And if you get a bump, it tries to right it, but it doesn't do it quite quick enough, so you end up fighting it. And the good thing about the Airbus is that in a really windy day, you on a normal ILS like what we've got here, you can leave the autopilot until 160 feet.
Yeah,
so on a really windy day, leave the autopilot in, take it at 160 feet, have a quick argument with the committee of French computers and land it.
Yeah.
You don't want to be trying to fight it a long way out. It's just hard work.
That's it. Like a bus, here comes another 757 Alpha Charlie this time. The Jet 2 definitely seems to come in waves.
They do, yeah.
And this one's off to Palma.
Yeah, on the Sunday show when we stream from like 10 till about 1:30, we see very little Jet 2s. It's usually like the first 2 hours we'll see like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Just the odd 737 or something, but
we'll miss these from the evening shows for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And another one of our moderators, and we'll get back to some community questions in a second. Matt Smith saying, best looking aircraft can include past and present. Or past, maybe your best modern and the best... Concorde. Okay.
Concorde.
Yeah.
And favourite modern aircraft?
75 is not really modern, is it, anymore?
I mean, not
I mean, they still fly. So.
The 350, isn't that a nice
looking
aircraft? Especially the 1000, isn't it? A gorgeous looking aircraft.
Yeah, it really was. Few asking who he flies for. That's not going to be discussed on today's show, I'm afraid. But thanks for getting involved, guys. G. Phil, have you ever had to shut down an engine in flight?
In real flight? God, never.
Yeah.
In the simulator, every 6 months.
Okay, so
we train
well
it
trained
a lot.
for.
Oh, we train it all the time, yeah. And it's one of the less likely scenarios because they're so reliable.
Yeah.
We do see quite often, if you're someone who has like alerts with flight radar, you might get these squawk alerts.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't tend to be mechanical these days. It tends to be like things like, problems with passengers and things. And is that something you've ever have to deal with, like diverts and?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few guys who have a list of airports that aren't the nicest to drop abusive passengers off at.
Yeah,
right.
We know certain airports the police are quite strict.
Yeah.
I remember years ago we were going down to the Canaries on the 75 and we heard a Monarch diverting into a little rock in the middle of out by the Azores. There was nothing there, and the captain knew it. He was like, "There's just a runway there. There's no scheduled flight." It says, "I think one boat a week. It's in the middle of nowhere." And I had a word with a mate of mine. He's, someone had kicked off, had a fight, so the captain just dropped him off in the middle of nowhere. It took him 3 weeks to get home. So, don't mess about on our aircraft. You'll end up somewhere horrible.
There you go. Little pilot justice coming in there. Definitely, let's have a look. You've got one there, yeah? So, may I know what is takeoff pitch degree do you usually take off with? So I assume what degree of pitch do you take off with?
On the takeoff, when you get to your rotate call, if you're looking out the window, You pitch the nose up. As soon as the nose starts to move, you stop pulling. And initially, you pull up towards, on the 319, 15 degrees, on the 320, 17.5. And you aim for that, and then you have a look at the speed. There's got a thing called the speed reference system, which will tell you where it wants you to be. But on a 319, about 15 degrees. On a 320, about 17.5. If you've got an engine out, they say pitch towards 12.5. You're unlikely to get there, especially if you're heavy, and then you pitch down to about 11, 10 or 11, because you don't want the speed going below your V2 speed, which you've set that's your takeoff safety speed.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a normal takeoff, 15, and then at 1,000 feet you accelerate, so you lower the nose to about 10 degrees, and the aircraft accelerates, and then you put the flaps up.
Amazing. There you go. And there we go, next 7.5, blasting off. We'll turn the sound up for this. Get your questions in for Mark, guys, in the chat.
Love the buzzsaw noise of those Rolls-Royce engines. Tips of the blade going transonic.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing.
Awesome sound.
Yeah.
I've noticed Rolls-Royce in general, like the engines usually have very distinct sounds to them, whether it's like the Trent 700s or the XWBs. It was like yesterday we were sat in the office and I heard like a very distinct. You get used to the sounds. And there was a plane flying overhead departing out of Manchester, and it's just that distinct growl. I was like, that's definitely an A350, and it was. And it's becoming a routine with these very distinct sounds. You can just distinguish them when they fly overhead, usually. Especially the Rolls-Royce engines as well.
Or the 737s.
Yeah, if it's really loud, it's probably a
737.
It's rattling your windows.
Yeah.
It's the same CFM engine on the Airbus, but, certain airlines have them uprated a bit.
Yeah. And Mixter saying, what's the longest flight you've had?
The longest I had was Djibouti to Paris, and it took us 8.5 hours in the headwinds.
Was that on a 7.5?
That was on a 7.5. Wow. That was a bit boring.
Let's have a look through the chat. Don't forget, today we're raising money for charity, guys. If you can afford to help us out today, as you can see, we are so close to our target, less than £300 away. Can we hit the £6,000 total before we go offline today? I believe I've got a few things to catch up on here. Let's have a quick refresh.
We're going to hit it, aren't we? Let's be honest.
We are now at 95% towards the target.
We were at 63 at the start of the show.
Let's have a look. Where did we get up to?
Like we said, we set the goal higher than last year in terms of the actual goal amount, but we still tried to keep it quite conservative. We didn't go for anything crazy with the costs of everything going up these days and things, and But then again, going back to look, Martin, what's going on, by the way?
Oh, let me go a picture.
Hello.
Sorry, guys, I need to get a picture of this one. Hold on.
We set the goal quite low in the 2020 with all the lockdowns and things, and we smashed that as well. So there we go. We had a vote earlier on. How about you, Mark? So we were saying it's very nice seeing the Air France livery on a 220, and I think it suits it really well. What would you say?
I do, yeah. It's a nice looking aircraft, isn't it? You see the big cockpit windows, the big cabin windows. It's a good looking aircraft.
We would love to fly on one of these. We've never flown on one, me and Martin. And I think the only consistent operator, obviously other than like Air Baltic, which requires flying all the way to Riga, would be Swiss.
Yeah.
But they're so expensive to fly with them. I have no idea why. You're talking like probably about 250 quid each way, or 200 quid each way, roughly. It's like just to fly that little hop. Like, I just want to experience a 220. Like.
Yeah, no, at least Air France, and hopefully Air France start to use them.
It's a very good aircraft for that route.
A little bit more.
It obviously depends on the demand, but that little hop over to there. And obviously we see KLM using the E2s as well with Embraer as well, and we love them.
That is definitely a mismatch of engine and aircraft size, isn't it? It looks mega.
Big engines. It
looks like he skipped leg day and just got all arms at the gym. Let's catch up on some donations, shall we, guys? With firstly an anonymous donation coming in with a £15 plus gift aid. Thank you very much to you.
Thank you.
Brian and Sue Holt, thank you very much, guys, saying well done. Thank you for your donation. I'm going to rattle through these as quick as I can. As we've had so many to catch up on. Val Bradley with your donation, thank you so much. Bear, thank you very much for your donation. Sasha McCarthy saying, great shows as always. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Sasha. Laura Bancroft, thank you to you. Mr. John Fezzer says, haircut fund for me and Mark with his donation. Thank you very much, Fez. John F, thank you very much, dude, for your donation. Another anonymous donation coming in. Bob's your uncle. Thank you very much for your donation, saying, hope this helps towards the target. Well done, Airliners Live community. It certainly does, Bob. Thank you very much. Another Bob Farrow. Thank you very much for your donation, saying thanks for the hard work. Appreciate that, mate. Melinley, thank you for you as well, saying great cause, guys. Keep up the great work. Mr. Jake Jackson with the second donation as a top-up. One love, he says. Thank you very much, Jake. Peter Rowland, thanks for your very generous donation. Really appreciate that, Peter. Joanna Smith saying brilliant cause with another very generous donation. And Laura Bancroft saying topping up my donation in honour of my mother-in-law who we lost. You know what, Laura? I'm going to come back and read that one properly and not rush that as soon as this A320 departs.
Tell you what, the A220s, you know, they make a lot of noise when they spool up, but the actual profile of the sound, you know, when they're departing and things, quite quiet.
They are very quiet.
I know Pratt & Whitney pride themselves on that particular engine being, I believe, the quietest of their type of any engine when they're in the air.
Just quickly read out Laura's message saying she's topping up a donation in honour of my mother-in-law who we lost to AML 18 months ago, and all the hard work Peter did for the Airliners Live community and Manchester RVP. Laura, thank you so much for your very generous donation. Really sorry to hear about your mother-in-law, and I hope the community and what we're doing this year goes towards helping the research that we know that Christie are doing so well. Thank you very much, Laura, for your very kind donation. And that puts us currently, ladies and gentlemen, less than £300 away from the target, £5,716 on the midweek show. Bearing in mind Sunday was supposed to be the big fundraising show. Can we do 5% before we end the show today, guys? We're less than £300 away. It'd be amazing to hit £6,000 today, folks. If you've not donated yet, get that donation in. Mark's with us for the next 15 minutes or so. So if you want to get your questions in with Mark, I believe he's already got one ready to go. But if you've not sent a question in yet, now's the time to speak directly to a pilot who comes in and out of Manchester. Get your questions in the chat.
Andy's asked, do you think Boeing should start the 75 with new engines? They are looking at doing a new replacement for the 75. One of the problems with the 75 is too big and heavy. It's got massive redundancies, massive amounts of extra bits on it that nowadays you don't really need. So, but yeah, they are looking at redoing it. Jamlin's asked, what cost index do you normally fly? 4. Nice and slow. We use 0 in the climb. It saves...
Oh, so you adjust it actually at different points in the flight? Wow.
10,000 feet we put 0 in, and back when we're in the cruise we go back to 4. It saves about 15 kilos, but when you're flying 300 aircraft, doing 6 flights a day,
it saves a lot. And for people who may not know in the chat, cost index is a figure that you put into the flight computer, which manages the speed that the aircraft can fly at, and that's a calculation done to save fuel and things like that. The higher the number, the less economical, and the lower the number.
So it's fuel versus time. So the lower number, less fuel, takes you longer. Higher number. I mean, I think the 75 went from 0 to 999.
Yeah.
And we used to bimble around at 55, and everyone moaned when we went down to 45.
So, in a headwind, would you lower the cost index, or would it stay the same?
Well, on the Airbus, you keep the same cost index, but the FMGC will up your speed in a headwind, so it'll fly you faster, and in a tailwind, it'll use the tailwind to blow you along.
Right.
So you'll fly a lower speed, Mach number, in the cruise with a tailwind than you would in a headwind.
Because in a headwind, I assume, would you use considerably more fuel, or is it
Yeah, it can be. Depends
Yeah.
how strong it is and how long you're going.
And that's kind of picked up quite accurately on the
Flight plans
ground
are
before you go.
Very accurate, yeah.
So
very,
accurate.
very accurate, yeah.
So I did wonder about that, because if you've got unexpected headwind, there's always reserve fuel to use. But I suppose that means how much did you have on in the first place?
What the actual flight plans we get have the wind put in already, and they are super accurate now. The old Jefferson's one we used to use on the 75, you'd always make fuel.
Yeah.
It was always nice.
So
because
they always know what the wind doing, but they never know if it's going to rain on an Airliners Live show.
Exactly.
Maybe your
We
guys
can't-
can help us with a bit of show planning.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that one, James. I really wouldn't. I've got a question from Thomas. He's asking, do I like landing at Schiphol Airport? I do. What makes it good or bad? It's good because the air traffic control is very slick. Nice big long runways, and there's loads of them.
And the taxi, though, maybe not so nice.
I don't mind that.
You don't mind a bit
No,
of a
I
driver.
what
like
about,
big long runways and lots of them? That's good. Safe.
What about Charles de Gaulle, if you've ever flown there?
Yes, in there a lot. Yeah, the air traffic again are very, very slick. They have a habit of cutting aircraft in front of you, and you have to slow up, and it makes it's just very, very, very busy. They all are, but yeah, they're good airports, and the air traffic control are superb. What else? Oh, and your program the other day when you were talking about the Regis on the EasyJets.
Yeah.
The EZs and the UZs.
UZs,
yeah.
yeah.
The UZMs are the 321s now, and the UZHs and the UZLMs and the L1s. They're all the 321 Neos now.
There you go.
So yeah,
That was something I didn't know, and I was just looking at flight radar like, hang on, I'm noticing a pattern here.
that was a good spot. I was quite impressed when I was listening. Good man. There is rumours of us getting a cut. Someone did ask. There is rumours of EasyJet getting a couple of 321 Neos here in the near future, but I don't know.
Yeah, and obviously Jet2 as well, potentially.
Yes.
Getting some here at Manchester.
Yeah. Phil's asked, how long does it take from start to finish to train to be a commercial pilot? Most guys now, they do it in a year. They go off. Yeah, they go off to L2 or one of these academies, and they go off to Arizona or New Zealand. They do the flying, they do all the exams, and at the end of it, they're type rated on a jet.
Is that from start to finish, or
From start to finish?
like? So you won't even have a PPL. You'll have just
It's this new MPL. You're only licensed to fly multi-pilot jet aircraft.
Wow. And what sort of amount are you looking at to get that, like, money-wise? Because obviously it's not cheap. But
I think it's in the region of between 120 and 160,000 pounds.
yeah.
But someone did ask, how did I do it? I did it self-funded. I started off, got a PPL, built my hours up, did my commercial exams, became a flying instructor, did that for 3.5 years, did my IR and worked my way up from that. I got sponsorship with Pete Proon in Australia on the 75. They paid for my type rating.
Amazing.
Wow. Sounds like a long process.
Yeah, it took a long time, but it's worth it.
Looks like we've got single-engine taxi out on this EasyJet here.
Yeah, it's
Just starting that second.
slot.
He's just starting that second engine now, by the looks of it.
Beautifully lit, though.
And Craig just saying, may slightly adapt to your question, but were you flying through COVID? How did COVID give you a lot of struggles? I know.
Yes.
Obviously, it affected a lot of pilots.
We were looking at a lot of redundancies. I went part-time, 50%. We were all worried about whether we'd have a job. Flying during COVID it was difficult to keep your currency up, keep your skills going, and but the airline, the training at my airline is exceptionally good, really good, and you've got to do 3 landings every 90 days, and if you miss that, you go into the simulator. Now, some airlines would just do 3 landings, that's it, you're out. Our guys did a proper 4-hour session and gave you scenarios to deal with and proper training, rather than just 3 landings, off you go. So yeah, the training at my airline is very, very good, and it made life a lot easier.
Amazing.
Another wide-body departure here. Turkish Airlines A330-300.
Question that's coming quite a few times as well is, do you have a favourite RAF aircraft? Is he really into your military at all?
Does a Lancaster count?
Yeah,
I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I always like the Lancaster.
Nick, you can please stop spamming that question now. You put it about 30 times in the chat. There you go, it is the Lancaster.
Yep.
Let's have a look. And question coming in now, you may know this being a pilot yourself. We seem to see, particularly EasyJet flights holding short of the runway here at Manchester. Is there anything that you can draw on from that may be happening, or what's going on?
Yeah, you've got a system with air traffic control where if it's busy, it's like a motorway. When the traffic backs up, they want to slow everyone down. So you get a thing called a slot, or a CTOC, a calculated takeoff time. And it may be 2 hours after your departure time. So what EasyJet wants to do, they want you off that gate on time, because it frees the ground crew up so that other flights aren't delayed. You then go and wait by the runway, and you tell air traffic they're ready. They put a thing in on the system called a ready message. So as soon as a gap becomes, you go. And because you're sitting next to the runway, you can go very, very quickly.
Yeah, and that's, just to be clear to everyone watching, that's not just a case of, well, the runway's empty, let me go.
Yeah.
We're talking right into Europe, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. And there's a great little app called CTOX. You can put in your flight number, whatever. You can have a look at your slot, and it gives you a map. Where is it? Probably not showing because we've already done it. View map. There, and it shows you. I don't know if you guys can see.
Well, you can see the congestion, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big red area, and that's the restrictive bit. And what I do is I have a look, and if it's just clipping the corner of it, I'll phone up the flight planning department and say, just route me around that.
Yeah.
And it normally gets rid of the slot.
Got you. So it's down to multiple factors then.
Yeah. I think that's what those lads have probably been doing over there.
Yeah, probably. Oh, that EasyJet absolutely greasing it down. He's in from Prague. And the EasyJet that was just holding for a second in front of us is on its way out to Corfu. Martin Taylor, have you ever landed at Madeira? Is it as bad as people think?
I have in a 7.5. It was great when we went in.
And you got a lot of power there for you.
Oh, you've got a lot of power. I know a friend who had a good fright in there once. Yeah, he had a good fright in there. It can be quite unpleasant going in there. But luckily I don't have to go there at the moment.
There you go. And ladies and gents, we are at 96% towards the target. Keep the donations coming in. We're going to hold the chatter for a second as this Turkish A330 looks like he's about to get going. An awesome sound.
I was going to say, is Madeira one that you need training for?
Yes.
Ah, right, okay.
There he goes. Heading back to Istanbul. Turkish A330.
Great view there. The 330 blasting off at the 05 left.
Yeah, not something we see too often at Manchester. The wind's usually favouring the 2.3s.
And there we go with the right-hand bank straight away.
Yeah, so what's going on now with the 05? Because usually we see mainly the heavies, a right-hand bank as he does there, and then you will usually see the left, there he goes, the left-hand bank coming back in. So is he just heading off, getting off runway heading, or what's going on there? Then?
Let's have a look at his. Do you know? I need to find out what departure he's on. He's probably on that one. No, he's not on that one.
Yeah, because the Wamos 330 earlier did the exact same thing.
Oh, so there it is. It's actually in the departure, in the Desig 1 Sierra departure chart. So you can actually see that curve in the chart. Can I show that chart? Is there anything on there I can't show?
No, of course, yeah, showing that.
Yeah, let me.
Because I think the straight ahead is probably lined up with 05 right.
And you can you just see that curve there, guys, in the chart? That's exactly what we just saw that Turkish do there. Yeah, I wonder what that's in there for then.
Not sure.
Why they wouldn't just. Where does that go then?
Because it's probably based off the Manchester VOR. That's 052 from
of course, because the VOR will be offset from the runway.
because it's over there.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
That would be in perfect line with the VOR 052.
Got you. Yes. Okay. So for people in the chat, there's a radio beacon at Manchester. Obviously, it's not right in the middle of the runway. It's off to the side of the runway, and the aircraft will be using that to navigate from. So what it'll do is it'll take off. It'll then make its turn to be perfectly in line with that VOR, and then the aircraft knows exactly what it's up to. So that's intercepting on the 052 radial out from the Manchester VOR. So that'll make a right turn, and then it'll be perfectly lined up then with... That makes total sense.
Yeah, because in the old aircraft, like our 757s, we didn't have GPS, and we had map shifts, so you line up on the runway and the plane would be nowhere near the runway on the map. And coming out of Gatwick, you would do all of this in raw data. You would flying head in, you would intercept radials, you would turn, and you would intercept other radials. And yeah, now we've got GPS. It's a bit of a lost art.
There you go. Learned something as well myself today. That's awesome.
Yeah. Just looking at the fundraiser total now.
Oh yes.
We are less than 200 away.
Wow.
194 away.
Guys, let's smash it. This aircraft off to Larnaca. Listen to that. So here we go. Let's catch up with the donations. Chris W with a £10 donation going in. Thank you very much, Chris. Becky Briggs also sending a donation in. Paul and Jenny Allen saying, hi guys, great work for a great cause. Literally just collected Jenny from hospital after an operation to remove breast cancer. Keep up the good work. Much love, Paul and Jen. Well, I hope her treatment goes well, Paul. Breast cancer is something that affected my mum as well. And the support and the treatment that she got was absolutely fantastic. So all the best to you guys. And I hope Jenny's well on the way to recovering soon. Thank you so much for your donation. Ian Deco, thank you very much for your £10 donation, saying awesome guys, well done everyone. Thank you very much. Alexandra H is donating in name of my granddad, who we lost to cancer almost 30 years ago now. The old man was terrified of flying, but he'd still be happy to help you guys out. Thanks very much for organising that. That's very kind of you, Alexandra. And thank you so much for your very generous donation. And Viv Butler, thank you very much for your donation as well, saying brilliant guys, keep it going. We've also had a £10 anonymous donation come in a few minutes ago. Thank you very much to you. That puts us to 96%, less than £200 away from the target, folks.
My worry is we've got nothing planned for me if we hit.
I know, like we were expecting to hit this on Sunday.
Yeah, we could have at least like prepared for it then, you know, like had something to say and I don't know, something to do.
Now there is a question that's coming in for Mark, and this will probably decide whether you get an extra 5 minutes on the stream or not.
Okay.
This is a really important question, this one, and it draws on all of your life experience.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We'll get the camera on as well.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I have had it.
But have you had it again?
I have had it again, but it's wrong, isn't it?
It is very wrong.
Yeah,
You're right. There you go.
There you go.
So is it a yay or an A? If you was going into an Italian and they had all the pizzas and you could choose any one you want, would it be a pineapple one?
No, it's like alcohol-free beer.
Of course,
isn't it?
guys.
You know, it tastes the same, but you know it's wrong, don't you?
There we go. You know it. And it's Jet2 on the taxi out here to Corfu.
Yeah,
a lot of love coming in for that there.
Yeah. Secretly siding with John Fezzer, but I'm not going to tell him.
It's so weird because I was thinking of questions to maybe ask Mark, and that was one that kept coming into my head as well. I was a bit baffled that someone asked that. There's a lot of
EasyJet lined up is out for Corfu. A little bit quiet on the ground. Let's have a look on
we
the
didn't
order
ask him
book.
about the Sun Express livery as well. That's another
Oh
big.
yeah, Sun
another
Express
big,
livery. Yeah, your name.
Yeah, it's, I quite like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's one of a favourite of ours. It's definitely a mixed bag in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people either love it, they hate it, or they just. Yeah, it's
Least favourite airline livery?
I don't know any boring ones.
Yeah.
I hate the boring ones.
Smart
Yeah.
Links.
smart.
Yeah, plain white aircraft with a reg on the side. It's just, yawn. I know it's expensive, and I know the paint weighs and it burns fuel, but, you know, I used to love the old United livery, the grey and the blue one from years ago, back in the 90s. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
That was.
Would you say that was your favourite retro scheme? Because we have seen quite a few retros coming in on the shows. Airlines kind of doing special liveries in them. What about the old American Airlines Chrome?
Oh yeah, you can't
Have a
be a
bit
bit
of
chrome. Don't those Jet 2 engines, the cowls on the front where they're polished shiny, don't they just look so good?
Yeah.
You can't beat a bit of chrome.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely love it.
I remember years ago sitting at Heathrow watching the old American MD-11s and A300s going out with all the chrome on it. You know, it looked good. It did look good.
Yeah, it looks amazing. And I'd say a simple retro livery done right. Probably Qatar with the purple stripe down the side.
That's a nice looking one, isn't
Looks
it?
quite smart.
The simpler ones do work really well.
Yeah.
And definitely stripes in that direction is definitely the way to go, I'll say.
Yeah, it certainly is. Certainly.
Not to name a certain airline.
Ian Livesey saying, I've just joined. Who is your guest?
Oh, right.
Well, we've got Mark with us today,
Ian.
certain airline pilot from an airline we will not disclose on the stream, but he flies in and out of Manchester regularly.
With my Airliners Live badge on, obviously.
Yes.
Get your badges.
Yeah, there you go. He's even got an Airliners Live badge, guys.
Too right.
You've been watching the show for a while and decided to come on the show today, which is great, to help with our
thanks for the
fundraiser.
invite.
Thanks for helping us out.
Yeah, dig deep for the fundraiser, guys. We're nearly there.
We are.
I've got razors in the car, which I'll leave with the boys.
Sounds like we'll need them, to be honest.
I think you will. Hope you do.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can get it done before the weekend, then Martin doesn't need a haircut then.
There you go.
Saves me a job.
10 grand before the Sunday show. I just come in with a skinhead. Welcome to the fundraiser, guys.
We're all got skinheads.
Let's have a look, shall we? How are we doing? Need to give him a window sticker.
Yeah,
Get
I've
one of
got
them in the
stronger
oldie.
tape for the next one. Didn't fall down today, but I was back a bit too early.
97%.
We were a little bit late going live today as well. We had a few technical issues, but
We're smashing it.
Yep.
Ian FM, thank you very much for the £10 super chat saying target now on finals. It certainly is, mate.
yeah,
Certainly is.
short finals. We'll get the
Jackie,
readouts.
thank you to you as well. We have a £30 donation saying, unfortunately, my husband died 5 months ago from prostate cancer. Keep up the good work. We're really sorry to hear that, Jackie. It's so sad how many people are donating and saying that cancer's really affected them. It's something that we really need to get on top of, and that's why here at Airliners Live, I think every year, if not maybe bar one, we've been supporting a cancer charity, guys, because it just affects so many people. It's like 1 in 2 now. An absolutely crazy number. I'm really sorry to hear that, Jackie, and thank you so much for supporting the fundraiser today. Hopefully we can absolutely smash this target, which I'm sure we can. The full support of the Airliners Live community is behind it, and we are now less than £200 away from hitting the £6,000 before we go offline today, which is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's nuts. Yeah, we were just fully not even expect. We were kind of like, will we hit 6,000 this year? You know, in total, and 24 hours in, we were at 50%. So
unbelievable.
I don't know how that happened, but.
Well, there's Andy up on the camera. You're getting a nice close-up view of his arm there, looking fresh.
I could put it on the other side now, to be fair.
It's all good. It's all good. But Andy, absolutely smashing the camera today so that I can focus on some pictures. Because I must admit, the old Instagram is getting a little bit
quiet,
down bad at the moment. But keep your questions coming in for Mark, guys, in the chat.
That's good.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, good one from Rob here. What's the strongest wind condition you have flown in, and into which airport was this? That's a good one. I don't actually know. I was here in Storm Dudley. That was, I think, the worst I've ever had.
Which one was that? Was that the one that was just after Eunice, or was that?
No, Eunice came after. I was up in Eunice as well. I get all the good days. Eunice was pretty unpleasant. It wasn't as bad as... I actually hurt my back in Dudley. About 3,500 feet, we hit a gust, and it actually hurt my back.
Wow.
Even one of the cabin crew shook me hand off the landing. That was the worst I've been. I can't remember what the wind speed was, but it was very, very rough. The problem you've got with Manchester is you've got the terminal over there. So if you get a wind, if you're coming in on 2-3, you've got a wind from anything from 2-7 round further north. It's coming over the terminal, so it's incredibly turbulent. Even 15 knots from 290.
It's crazy because you think, like, in retrospect, the height of the terminal isn't that high, but it just isn't, because
as it goes over it goes up and over, and it goes up and over, and it goes up and up and over. And likewise, if you get it strong from the south, it isn't too bad. At Newcastle from the south, it was horrendous.
Because sometimes we also see when pilots are coming in on 2-3, there is a hump in the runway, and you'll see them coming in, and then they'll just come over that hump and then touch down. So that's more of a ground effect thing. Like,
it just depends on the flare. Again, the picture doesn't look right. I normally land after the hump. If you get it, you can hit the hump quite hard, but if you get it just over it, it normally works out right. If you're coming in on a really windy day, you're coming in with extra speed anyway. The Boeing, you would dial it in yourself. The Airbus, it's got a thing called ground speed mini, which puts extra speed on, gives you more energy in case you have wind shear, and it just gets you through the air better. But anything from that direction over the terminal, it's not nice.
Not nice
at
all.
It's not nice.
And what was the wind shear was the main challenge then, I assume, trying to get in?
The turbulence, it was just rough, and you're hitting gusts which is moving the aircraft. The autopilot is going, he didn't ask for that, I'm going to try and put it back to where we wanted, but you've hit such a gust, you're now off the centre line or off the glide, and you've got to fight to get it back on. It's just unpleasant. It's just being chucked
and
about.
Just something that I thought about, and it made me a bit nervous, honestly, thinking about it. When me and Andy were filming, crazily, we did a stream, myself and Matt, during Storm Eunice. And then I went over to the jet parts to film with Andy, some more arrivals, and we were there for hours, getting absolutely soaked. And there was particularly a TUI aircraft that came in 3 times, couldn't get it down, and then went off to Scotland somewhere. Like, I assume you're alternating attempts, or at least you give the other guy an attempt to come in, but how do you deal with that, like, as it's happening? Because for me, I'd be in the flight deck just thinking, God, like, I have to get it down at some point. And obviously, it was across the whole country at that point. So it's like, well, where do you go, and how do you make a decision on, well, do I give it another go, or do I let him have a go, or do I go somewhere else and potentially it could be the same, if not worse? Like, that would make me extremely anxious.
When the weather's bad, the captain does it. Airlines have different limits. Our airline, if it's more than 20 knots across, the captain does it. The FOs, they don't. The thing is, as well, especially a lot of the senior guys, they're very capable, and they'd be more than capable, but I think it's probably insurance. So anything more than 20 knots, if it's particularly horrible, the captain's going to do it.
And even if the person in the right seat is a captain themselves? I know they're not the captain.
It would be a training captain normally in that seat. If you've got a captain in the right-hand seat, they'll either be filling in or they'd be doing a training flight.
Right, okay. So normally it would be a first officer status.
It's normally a first officer. But captains. This is why, we like you guys. Us pilots love you guys. You're factual, you're interesting, you're not all shouty like some. And one of them...
Let's not jump down that rabbit hole.
No, but one of them, we would say, the captain's moving the throttles. It was on a 380. Well, they're thrust levers. On an Airbus, they don't move. And maybe the first officer did. First officer nowhere near the controls in 60 knot winds. So you are flying it. You are the guy who's flying it. With our airline, you are allowed 2 goes. And if you don't have a significant improvement in the weather, you go somewhere else. If you go around because someone's still on the runway, that doesn't matter. But if it's weather, you're allowed 2 goes, and then you go somewhere else.
And that rule applies even if it's countrywide, the issue?
Yeah, this is the thing. You're allowed 2 goes.
Right.
when I came in Dudley, the aircraft, the company aircraft in front of me, we were listening in from London, and we heard them do 2 go-arounds, and they ran away to Gatwick, and we were like, this is going to be fun, and thank God we got in first time.
Yeah.
Normally, when it's a horrible storm, you've got a bolt hole. 3 years ago, we had a load of storms come in. Our best bet was Doncaster.
Right.
The runway was completely into wind. And I phoned up flight plan and said, I want Doncaster. And they went, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Everyone got Doncaster. So normally you have got a bolt hole you can run away to. And luckily, when we came in Dudley, Gatwick was unpleasant, but it wasn't horrendous. And thank God we got in first go. But
Yeah.
in Eunice, we came in. There was heavy showers and storms out to the north. We landed. The two Jet 2s came in behind, and then everyone was going around, and this sleet shower came in, and the whole side of the plane was covered in ice. So again, we were very lucky to get in. But yeah, you allow 2 goes, and then you've got to find somewhere else.
Right.
And you put enough fuel on that you've got plenty of options. That's the idea. Airline flying is all about option generation. You want to have as many options as you can.
I assume in like a storm you put more fuel in than like.
Oh yeah. I mean, I always carry a bit more extra fuel, and when the weather's bad, I put a lot more on.
Yeah.
So in terms of fuel, like what you would take on a normal day to say what you took in Eunice, like what sort of distance?
Well, I mean, Dudley was coming back from Hurghada. We filled it up.
Right.
We took 18.8 tons. On the 75, when we used to go down to Africa, because there was massive thunderstorms everywhere. Again, 34 tons would fill it up. Dudley, what I normally do when it's really bad, like storms like that, I look at what I can actually land with, because every aircraft have a maximum landing weight, and I knock maybe half a ton off of that, and that's what I fill up to. So I know that if I'm going to burn, I think it was Paris, I'm going to burn say 2 tons coming back from Paris, I'll put on max landing weight plus 2 tons, burn the 2 tons, and we're just below max landing weight. So I've got as much fuel on as I can, and then I've got plenty of options.
You got loads of options,
Yeah.
and that's what I would say, and I'm sure you'd agree with this, that has made the aviation sector a lot safer, is a lot more reliable aircraft, a lot more information coming to you as the pilot, and obviously giving yourself as many options as possible.
That's it. And the training's really good. And what they do now is, our airline in particular, they look at all the events that happen, and they train us not to do that.
Yeah.
And they look at what's causing all these crashes. It's not engine failures after takeoff.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, right, we're going to train you guys so you don't do this.
Yeah. And you'd say, obviously, flying is one of the most safest modes of transport.
Yeah, most dangerous part of your day is driving to the airport.
Yeah.
And something slightly strange, runway 2 may now be back open. Because we've seen some of Ryanair touching down there.
Wow, that's so bizarre. I didn't. Yeah, it is. You're right.
That's very odd how they've had it closed for this whole time, and as soon as we get close to potentially an A380, they've opened a second. Manchester, do you have a phone number for him?
I do.
What a shame, but there we go. We're back to dual runway ops, but
I think if you're
Pauline enjoying it, they're saying lots of really good information. This is really interesting. Please come back more often, Mark. Loving the stream, says Mixter.
I think if you're a pilot and you've been given the tower's phone number, it's not never a good thing, is it?
Yeah, I've got a number to copy.
Yeah. Boys,
possible pilot deviation.
Put Fat Albert on the left, please.
I know Noel Phillips has told a few stories on his channel about some telling off, some reports. Have you ever had anything similar to that? Like maybe in your early days when you were flying with your PPL and things, have you ever come close to... Or
done a bit of a Harrison Ford and landed on the taxiway?
No. I remember years ago I had me PPL. I took some mates up to Silverstone and I got lost. But you know, you have the 1215 frequency and you call them up and you say, where am I? And they tell you and they go, where do you want to go? Give me a heading to wherever, and they sort you out very, very quickly.
Nice.
They're very, very good.
And ladies and gents, let's get some Airliners Live love hearts in the chat, and a bing bong as well. Sophie Hampson is in the chat. Peter Hampson's daughter, of course, who we are raising money for this year, along with obviously all of the other people in the community who are struggling with cancer at the moment. And Sophie just saying, hello everyone, Sophie Hampson here, who is fundraising for Christie's. I want to tell you all how much my family and I appreciate your beyond generous donations. It really does mean the world to us. Sophie, it's great to have you in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. We've been inundated with donations today, and this is the first time in Airliners Live history where we have ever been this close to the target before we've even done the fundraising stream. This is absolutely crazy. We're only £150 away from the £6,000 goal, and we've got the whole of Sunday to fundraise through as well, which is absolutely unbelievable. But great to see you, Sophie. Thank you so much for stopping in, and obviously feel free to enjoy the rest of the show as well.
Yep. So obviously for this entire week, we've been turning off our donations on our channel. It's actually a big part of how we cover the costs of Airliners Live is the super chats. And they're completely switched off this week, and I mean, we're almost at 100%, and we're not even on the main show yet, which is on Sunday.
Stephen says John Fezzer can sit next to Mark. I'm sure he'd be capable. Well,
I've watched John Fezzer's sims. He's a very, very switched on lad. I like watching his. He's a good lad.
Yeah, and his pilot skills.
They're very good. Yeah, better than mine.
There you go, John. But hey, you never know. We may be able to arrange you sitting next to John Fezzer, because our office at Barton is actually based in an A320 sim location. So if you're ever available, you got some time off work, we can get John Fezzer up and
sounds good.
Put you in the flight deck together and have a bit of that. Are you up for that there, John, as well?
I'd always love to do like a live stream of that as well, but it'd just be so hard to set up, right?
Yeah, I think a pre-recorded would be awesome on that.
Yeah, because we've tried that in the past, like discussing how to live stream a simulator, like an actual, physical simulator. But obviously, Fezzer does them in the software with his like controls at home.
Yeah.
But
have you flown much in MSFS? Is it something you do? You don't fly as well?
I was down in London last week with a friend who's got a 777 sim in his garage he's built himself, and that runs off MS. That's beautiful.
Nice.
He's got he's like, oh, look at this new software, and it's streaming live from Google Earth, and the graphics. I mean, you'd be appalled if you saw how bad the graphics were in the sims that we do our training in, because you don't need graphics. You're airborne, you're straight in cloud, and you stay in cloud until you land. They don't care. But I was blown away by the new software. It's just amazing, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. And Sophie just saying as well, my dad would be absolutely thrilled, loving the show, and excited to be there with you on Sunday. Yes, we will be welcoming Sophie onto the show on Sunday to chat. I think around 11 o'clock on the Sunday show.
Fab.
It depends if Mark wants schooling. Hey,
you'd have to pre-record it to cut all the swearing.
I was going to say it'd be a bit of swearing, a bit of fighting. You go my aircraft, and John goes no.
I'll be pressing the button. My aircraft. I have control.
If you don't like the crack, then John Fezzer is probably not your best first officer. I'll put it that way.
First officer.
I keep getting this. I've seen a question popped up a couple of times from I think it was John asking any advice for nervous flyers.
Yeah.
All I can say is it really is safest form of transport. Your most dangerous part of the day is getting to the airport. We're in the simulator every 6 months, trained very, very well. We have written exams twice a year to do. I must do mine, actually. I'll get my finger out. We don't take risks. We have plenty of fuel, plenty of options. If the weather's not right, we go somewhere else, and you're quite safe. And the aircraft are amazingly well looked after. They're amazingly reliable. Every day an engineer checks it out. We walk around it before we take it anywhere, have a good look at it. They're in the hangar regularly getting checked over, because we can't take a risk with people's lives. It's just very, very safe.
Yeah.
And I know some people are terrified of the thought of it, but it really is very, very, very safe.
Yeah. And one thing that came in, which has probably helped a few people, is potentially watching John Fezzer's flight sim streams, because a lot of what I find people are probably nervous about with flying is not really know what's going on. I always use the example, and I've said it a few times on the show, of say when you take off and you reduce back to climb thrust and you hear the engines spool back a little bit, and oh god, why are we turning the engines off? You know what I mean? And it's things like that where watching a bit of flight sim or having people like yourself on to explain, you kind of get used to, especially with flight sim, you get used to the sounds of the aircraft, you get used to what's going on, the clunking of when the gear comes down, all that sort of thing. Probably really helps out a lot.
And also when you do, like you said, you get to 1,000 feet, you reduce the thrust. With the Airbus, the Boeings, the thrust levers move, the auto thrust moves them. But with the Airbus, they're in clunky gates. So you're in your climb and you want to cut. You're in your flex takeoff position. You want to come back to climb. On the CEOs, it's quite noticeable. If you just go clunk, the engines go, and people are like, what's that? If you wiggle them out the gate and slowly bring them back, it's a general, and it's not so noticeable.
Right.
So
okay.
that can help. But
so is there any sort of range there then? Because you think surely it's two
just
switches,
a little clunk.
isn't it?
Yeah, you're going from the takeoff power to a reduced power for the climbs. You don't want to wear the engines out. But what I would say, if you are scared of flying, go on Plane Finder or Flight Radar and zoom out and have a look at all the aircraft that are in the sky every single day. How often do they come down?
Yeah, it's extremely rare to see anything that is even remotely dangerous in the air these days.
Plus, with the Airbus, we're monitored. We've got a system on board which monitors all our parameters, and as soon as we land, it downloads the entire flight to the head office. And there's guides there, and if there's anything that's a little bit untoward, say we've gone a little bit fast below 10,000 feet, or we've taxied round a corner at more than 10 knots, it pings up. And if you do certain things, you know they're going to know straight away. So you don't, in the old days where people would do gash things. Yeah. I've just read a fantastic book by an old friend of mine. He was ex-Dan Air, ex-Virgin. He used to fly for EasyJet years ago. And he's written this amazing book. I think it's called That's Fast Enough by Peter Hertzberg. I mean, he used to teach people to land the 747. And when he was at Dan Air, he was coming up to be made a captain. He had an empty flight with his wife, who was a cabin crew on board. And he said, "Do you mind if she sits on the spare seat?" He said, "No, she's sitting in your seat. You're sitting in my fleet, and I'm going to make you cuppers." And he flew it back as And nowadays that would just be absolute. 50, 40 years ago, however long, 40 years ago, that was done thing. Yeah. But it's so safe now.
A lot safer now.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
So I guess a question from me then. Obviously, you're flying for a certain airline.
Yes.
Say holiday destinations, general travel. Ever thought of going commercial like these guys, or maybe
a couple of bizjet,
a bit of long haul, maybe?
I don't fancy the bizjet world. I like, because you're on call a lot of the time. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm working away from home every week, but I get to go home. I get time off with my family. I get to see my kids grow up. Long haul, I mean, with me last airline with Australia, we used to spend a week at a time in certain places in Africa. If there was war or famine, we went there and you were stuck there for a week. And I like being at home.
Yeah.
I don't like sitting watching all the pilots fly. I want to fly the aircraft. Double Belfast is a great day out because I get plenty of actually flying the aircraft, not watching Pierre, the French computer, do it.
Yeah.
But I don't fancy long haul. I'm too old now for that.
Yeah. So you're exactly where you want to be.
Exactly where I want to be.
Oh, this Vueling is going to be lovely on the lighting here as it turns.
Yeah, I'm very quickly grabbing the old camera here.
Look at that, the engines lit up beautifully on the Vueling A320. Pilots lit up as well.
Looking amazing today.
Yeah. I particularly love the Vueling livery. The whole yellow and grey combo is very nice.
Are you a fan, Mark?
Yeah, it's not a bad colour. I like the Neos. I think they look a bit better for some reason. I don't know why.
I think so too. A lot of Neo they switch up the livery a tiny bit, and sometimes they'll even put the mask up front as well.
Yeah,
which I think looks really, really tidy.
The one, what you mean, around the cockpit windows?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. I was told that actually on the 350 that actually has a purpose. It's to do with the window heat or something, but it is actually there for a reason.
Yeah, I've heard that too. It's strange because some airlines seem to put it on aircraft that are like Scandinavian, for example, they have it on their A320 Neos.
Yeah,
it's does that serve a purpose? I don't know, but
no, I think it's just because they've got it on their 350s as well, so I think it's just keeping the colour scheme the same, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah,
I don't know of any Airbuses that need it. Even the talk of the new flight deck, I haven't heard anything about that for it.
Yeah, I love the the 350s. It looks really good on the 330 Neos as well.
Yeah, I did hear a rumour the 330 Neo is proving to be more economical than 350.
Wow. Yeah. Really nice aircraft, that with them big composite wings. And I mean, planes these days, they are getting quite cool.
It's about time.
Yeah. I know we're losing quite a lot of nice planes like the 75s, for example, and things, 76s, even like the A300s, A310s, but A lot of cool planes. Like I particularly love the E2s and the 220s. I love the sound of them. I think they look really cool. And yeah, the 350s. And when we eventually get the 777X as well, that'll be something.
Yeah.
A couple of donations in just to get some thank yous in. From Philip saying, love your show, great work raising the money. Thank you very much, Philip. Really appreciate your donation, mate. And Daniel Crawford with a £10 donation saying, amazing work. Thank you very much, guys. Only 3% away from the target, £140 away.
Can we raise £140 in the last hour of the show?
Yes, we will be wrapping up in an hour, guys, and if we can hit that target before we go offline today, that'll just make Sunday an absolute breeze.
I don't know what we'll do to celebrate.
I'm not sure.
We've got nothing planned.
It's been a good stream. It's been absolutely fantastic, and a massive shout out to Mark for joining us as well. A lot of people in the chat loving the insight, loving the info. We definitely have to get you on again, mate.
Oh, no,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks for having us. You know, I can come here and support you guys. You do a great job. And I mean, even the first officer I was with today was telling me that. I mean, we all watch you.
Yeah. Right.
We all watch you. But they were taxiing off here, and his, I think it was his wife's little cousin was here.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll make sure I wave. And he's taxiing off, and the captain's giving it a go hi, and he's like, "Wah!" like that. And then you saw it on there, and he's like, I look a prat.
That's really cool. A lot of pilots tuning in, watching the show.
A lot of them seem to, and obviously like the cabin crew as well. Likewise, when I flew on that Jet 275, I actually asked to be put in a different seat because all the seats were booked up. So I think Jet 2, they block out a lot of seats, for families and things, because I think a lot of families fly with like package holidays, so try and keep them together and things. But the cabin crew asked, and it was a Scouse lad. I didn't get his name. He was like, "Oh, you're Andy, aren't you?" I was like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, from Airliners Live. I was like, "Oh,
yeah, no, it is. I'd say, I know obviously you come in and everyone kind of has this thing, pilots are just going to be like this completely different human being, like.
Yeah.
But obviously they're all just like us, right? They just love planes and love flying, and it's awesome that they watch the show as well. So if you do hear anyone who watched it, just give them a thanks from us, because that's probably the big achievement of Airliners Live is when the pilots are tuning in, or they're writing into us to say that we caught their landing, or why did you catch my landing, in other messages we've had sometimes.
Yeah, delete that one.
But no, it's great.
Yeah, we try and record them as well, and like sending the clips to people.
Yeah, you do a great job. We all love it, and it's good. You look through there I am. You watch it. I remember when I first came to Manchester years ago. The family are 180, 200 miles away, and I sent the wife a message. I'm going off in a minute. You are on the other side, and watch me go off, and the kids are like, "Oh, there's Daddy, there's Daddy." All of a sudden, it's like, I haven't seen my Daddy in 5 days. And here we go again. But no, it's great. They love it. They're watching now. Actually, I've got a load of messages from my kids. Like, it's so
amazing.
Cool.
Do you want to give them a wave in the old camera?
Hi, kids. Right. Be good. Help your mother.
So you off home today? Are you back out flying?
No, I was on the early Malta tomorrow, but that's changed. I've now got tomorrow off, and then I'm back in. I'm going to Burgas in Bulgaria, and then I've got an Alicante.
Very nice.
Do you often get because I know a lot of the sort of
can't see Andy there. I'll skip back to main cameras. All you saw was just an arm and a bit of a tripod.
It's not in the best place. Well, the thing is, I've also unplugged the remote because it wasn't working. So
okay, got you.
So I'm having to use that. But what I was going to say is, do you often get time to spend in these places, or is it literally every single time you're just there and you're back?
It's there and back. It's normally a 25-minute, half an hour turnaround, maybe a bit longer, depends on the airport.
Do you even have to use your passport at that point, or are you literally just you got no stamps as a result?
No, my passport has no. It might have one from years ago in it, but no, it's just you land. One of you will set the aircraft up for the departure and the route back. One of you will walk round. We'll set up the takeoff performance, the load sheet, the loading of the aircraft, where the passengers are, work out how much engine power we're going to use for takeoff. We'll brief. We'll get a clearance from air traffic control. The cabin crew will be working very hard. I mean, they do an absolutely fantastic job. And off we go again. I mean, the guys on the ramp here, we our company uses DHL. Those lads, give them a big shout out. They are absolutely out of this world. They are so good. they spot if they spot something in the aircraft, they'll tell you. One of the lads heard something today, told us. They work so hard, and they're really, really good people, and that's what makes a difference. You have great people you work with, great. The DHL lads here are fantastic. The cabin crew are great, and it just makes it a nice day out, and it makes it go as smooth as it can.
Amazing.
It sounds like quite a nice, if you are based here in Manchester and you're back home every night, it just sounds like a nice, convenient job, I think, because I think a lot of people think of pilots as like proper jet setters, that tonight I'm staying in this country and I'm off in America, which I suppose for long-haul pilots is the reality.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a few like Virgin crew and saying that they have like sometimes 2 or 3 days in the States and things. Often it's a bit more rushed than that as well. It's like, I'm here for tonight and then tomorrow morning I'm straight back out. But for someone who just does European short hops, then it sounds nice and convenient.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm guessing the hours can be quite unsociable.
They are long hours. You have a table, a limit of what you can work each day without a break. It's not like a truck driver where every 4 hours you pull over for a nap. You can't do that. We have, you can work sort of 14, 15 hours some days without a break.
Yep.
And they are long days. But it's rewarding, and as long as we get the passengers there safely and happily and do a good job and try and keep them interested on the PAs, tell them a bit of history about the area. That's why I like going to Malta and Greece. There's plenty of history of St Paul and all his antics and his tours around there. I've got all these speeches that I give them, and they all go, thanks for the history lesson, driver. You're welcome, passenger.
Nice. And you come out at the end of the flight, say hello to everyone usually?
I've normally got too much to do. The first officers can do. They pop out. What I like is we had one today. We had a little flight deck visit at the end. We've landed. The passengers again. Can my son have a look in? Yeah, get in. Come in and show them. Give them a quick tour. That makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Well,
I always wondered.
I apologise, Andy. I am going to have to interrupt you.
Go on.
Because the chat is full of celebration
what's
emotes. We have just hit, apparently, an hour. There it is. We are now at 102%.
Wow.
For the first time, ladies and gentlemen, in Airliners Live history, we have just hit 100% before the charity live show on a Sunday, guys. Well done, guys. Absolutely smashed it, every single one of you. There's Andy up on the camera as well. What can we say? Oh, that's unbelievable. I cannot believe we've just hit the total before we've even done the Sunday show. What are we going to do on Sunday?
What are we going to do now?
Mate, this is crazy, guys. You've all absolutely smashed it. Anything we can raise on Sunday now is a bonus.
It's a stretch now, isn't it?
Absolute bonus. And we've got another 4 hours of fundraising still to go for this year's Charities Fund.
Plus Henry's show tomorrow as well.
Plus Henry tomorrow, guys. The Airliners Live community is absolutely incredible. You've absolutely smashed it. Wow, that has never been done before, guys. That has never been done before. All we can say is let's reach for the skies for the next fundraising day, which will obviously be on Henry's stream and on our big Sunday show. Let's not stop there, guys. Let's keep the funds coming in. Wow, absolutely amazing. What an absolute treat that is on today's show. Yeah. We did wonder if it would be possible, and it's just been that's crazy. I don't know what to say.
Melissa's saying get yourself a Tim Hortons.
I think we will have a little celebration tonight.
Tim Hortons.
Unbelievable.
That's just wow. I don't even know what to say. At least on Sunday we could have prepared something to do, but wow, I guess
amazing. We
can put that on Sunday show anyway.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, let's get another bing bong for all you guys. You know what? You can. Should I have a bing bong from the captain as well? I'll turn that off because I know you have got a badge on that shows where you work. We'll click that one.
Go on then.
There we go. From the captain.
It's a bit of a different button setup than the.
Yeah, a little bit different than the oldies. And Sophie says, "I can't believe it. This takes our current total to over £12,000. We thought it would take us years to get this. I'm speechless." Well, ladies and gents, we need to hit 15,000. We have to hit 15,000 to get that permanent memorial for Peter.
Which was a stretch goal for us anyway.
It was a very big push. But can we do £3,000 on Sunday? that is the question. If we can do $3,000 on Sunday, guys, that would be the icing on the cake. I know you guys have absolutely smashed it today. We cannot thank you enough. Our target on Sunday is going to be to get that $3,000 in, if possible. I know everyone's going to be thinking about things that are going on at the moment. We don't want anyone to donate more than anyone can afford, ladies and gents, but we will try and push in. Maybe there's viewers who haven't been watching this evening who are tuning in on Sunday. If we can get to that £15,000 total, that will be a dream come true, guys. But thanks to everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of your help this year. It not only goes towards Peter, who was a very good friend, a good mentor to both myself and Andy. He got us in this fantastic streaming location. We would not be having this view if it wasn't for Peter, guys. The RVP, a lot of the stuff here is down to Peter as well. He really pushed to have a fantastic space for all of us to be in, guys. And yeah, just raising money for him is absolutely fantastic. And a massive, massive well done to everybody. You've absolutely smashed it already this year, and we're not even halfway through the week, guys. we're not even halfway through the 2-week fundraising period.
Yep, like we said,
it's only been open since Monday.
Yeah, the third day in we are in.
Yeah,
and that was Monday afternoon as well.
Unbelievable, guys. Well done to everyone, and thank you very, very much to all of you.
So what we'll do is for the rest of this week, we'll continue as planned with tomorrow and Sunday Super Chats being turned off and all hands on deck for the fundraiser. Like Martin said, another 3,000. We could hit the stretch goal to get the...
But bearing in mind, my dad's just texted me.
Okay.
We're talking $6,000 here, but that's without gift aid.
So, yeah, I'm assuming the gift aid helps towards the goal, right?
Yes, that should certainly help towards Peter's goal, I would assume. Sophie can probably update me in the chat. But it's £6,116.56 so far, and the gift aid on top of that is £1,251, guys. So we're absolutely smashing it so far. Let's catch up on those donations, shall we? And
thank you, everyone.
See
that's nuts.
Who got us over the line here? Let's see how far away we were.
Like we said, we were a bit hesitant with 6,000 because it is a bigger goal than last year. And I know the last 2 years have been hard for people, but I think now it's really starting to show for a lot of people the challenges that are arising with everything that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
So 6,000 we thought was a push that we could definitely, with a lot of support and hard work, we could potentially reach. But I mean, 2 days in, for 48 hours in, and we've already smashed through that goal. And
so it does help towards the 15k. That's great to hear.
Wow.
But let's have a look. So Ian Deco, let's give you the bing bong. Thank you very much, mate. Trying to start a support train on the old charity fundraiser. Thank you, dude. Anonymous donation coming in. Thank you. Another anonymous donation after that. Simon and Hazel Harlow saying good luck with the fundraising. Thank you, guys. Almost Yost, thank you very much for your very generous donation. And one in from a little bit closer to home, Mrs. Airliners Live with a £20 donation. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
Carl Crawford, thank you very much for your donation, saying, hey everyone, a massive well done to you all for the donation. Such a great cause. Shirley Dev, good friend of the channel, it's all good to go. It's all going, to a good cause. Well done, lads. Well done, chat. Keep up the good work with a very generous donation. Andy and Michelle Park saying, great cause, currently going through treatment for lung cancer. And a shout out to all of the doctors and nurses at Lancaster and Kendall Oncology. Massive shout out to them. We hope you start to get well soon, mate, and thank you very much for your very generous donation. All the best to you as well, mate. The full community support is behind you. Aidan, thank you very much for your donation, mate, saying you're doing a great job. Well done. Cheers, Aidan. Terry Edwards with a massive £20 donation, saying big shout out to Mark for giving up his time to be here on the stream. Very informative, says Terry. with a very generous donation. Mauki Stoddart with a £5 super chat saying a £5 donation. A fiver from the missus. Thank you very much. Helen Smith, thank you very much for your donation. An anonymous £30 donation coming in. And Ian Livesey with a £10 donation saying, great show, great cause, and a great guest. It'd be rude not to chip in with his donation as well. Guys, you're absolutely smashing it. We've also had a donation from Leslie K coming in, very generous. Thank you, Leslie. And Mark Cullen saying, great work, guys. We are now at 102% on the toast. Crazy.
That is
Crazy.
nuts. Yeah. It's just hard to even explain how thankful we are, and it's just nuts to hit it so quick. Real quick, ain't it?
I've had a good question here. Have I ever seen any UFOs? No. No. I have been looking.
You don't think so, anyway?
No, I haven't. Seen a lot of satellites, seen a lot of shooting stars, and what's really cool is space debris. When you see that coming down at night and it burns up and all colours come off it, it's quite impressive. But no UFOs, unfortunately. Sorry.
What about the Northern Lights? Have you seen them?
Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
I'd love to see them from an airplane. That'd be nuts.
Yeah. We have got a little gift for Mark as well for coming on the show as well
Thank
today. There you go, mate.
You didn't need
That's
to do
all
that.
for you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Feel
very
free to
much.
open it because we can. There are a few bits that are quite.
Boys, you didn't need to do that.
That's all right. Don't you worry at all, mate.
Fellas, thank you so much.
It's nothing huge.
Oh, it's a proper sticker. That
There you
won't fall off, will it?
That definitely won't fall off. But you're probably getting in a little bit of trouble for sticking that one on the old window.
Yeah, sadly, fellas, you don't own the planes. Sadly,
you need to get this merch. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, fellas. Much appreciated.
I appreciate you coming on, mate.
Thank you so much, mate. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. I'm so grateful for all you guys do. Really.
No, it's great to have you on.
Yeah.
Big Al. Yeah, that's a good question, Big Al. Do you know Jet 2? They always seem to, out of all the other, and we're talking Boeing now.
Yeah.
A really shallow rotate off the runway. They're always using a lot more runway. And whereas you see the Ryanairs, they're up and they go as we see now.
Yeah.
The Jet 2s are always kind of just like that.
I'm not sure because I'd have to ask a mate at Jet 2, but again, like I said, you don't take off with full power on the engines, and if you're heavy, you've got a lot of passengers on board, which Jet 2 will have because they're popular, because they're good. If they've got a lot of fuel on board, if they're going a long way, the aircraft's heavy. On a hot day, not a lot of wind, it's difficult to get a great plane off the ground. The wings don't like it. They want high pressure, they want cold air, there's lots of molecules in the air, and the wings work, and the engines work better. But we all have programs that we use for our performance. We work out our loading of the aircraft, where the bags are, where the people are, and we work out what the plane weighs. And then we put it into another system that we put in the weather, whether the runway's wet or dry, where the wind is, what the temperature, the pressure is, and it works out how much engine power we need to use and what speeds we use. There is a thing called improved climb. If you've got a great big long runway, then it's a good idea to go down the runway really, really fast, and then as you're going fast, you'll climb out better. Mm-hmm. So if you've got a lot of terrain around, we'd use that system. But I would imagine it's down to the software that Jet 2 are using, and they're probably not ragging the engines like some airlines do.
Yeah, they're definitely more D-rated, I'd say, than any of the other Boeing carriers we have in here, because they use a lot more runway, and like I say, the rotate is a lot shallower as well.
Yeah, there is a thing, I don't know whether, I think some of the Ryanair aircraft have got the 73 NGs have I think it's called a short fill performance kit or something, where they uprate the engines, and I think they try and uprate the brakes as well. The brakes weren't great on the 7.3.
Yeah.
But if you're coming in and out of short runways, then it gives you the extra oomph to get off the ground. So, if you're using normal 7.3 engines, I mean, I flew the 700 and it was all right. I didn't like flying it, but power-wise, it was all right. I suppose with an 800, the engines are more powerful, but it's a bigger aircraft, you carry more people. But I would say it's down to the software they're using to work out the takeoff performance. They're using less engine power.
There you go. A380 is 3 minutes out. We'll just have a quick check-in with him on the old radar. Currently heading right towards Warrington.
I assume they're still on dual runway ops.
Yes.
It would appear so, unfortunately. Hopefully, if John Fezzer's still in the chat, he may be able to have a quick look. Mrs. Airliners Live asking if we can celebrate with Tim Hortons. I think we should. I think we should. Yeah. Maybe even get the old Brown Bill to pop over to Hortons.
I'd be down to join, yeah.
Yeah, if Mrs. Airliners Live is all right with that. Can my friend come for tea? But we definitely need to celebrate. And here we have Lufthansa on the way out. But yes, A380 just passing over Warrington. And this Lufthansa's heading out to Munich.
Do you like any fast food, Mark?
I make a lot of curries at home.
Oh yeah,
curry chef. Yeah. That's my downfall.
I just seen a message from Laurie in our little moderator group chat. She goes, "I fell asleep. What happened?"
Well, that boring. Sorry.
Well, Laurie, we absolutely smashed the target. That's what happened.
Yeah, we went from about 63% on the goal from the start to now over 100%.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
You know, it's been a big show today. The viewers have been pretty normal, you know, for a midweek show. Obviously, having Mark here has been a nice bonus as well.
Yeah.
05 ops as well has been nice, but Sundays when we're really going to go all out on the fundraising, and I mean, we've already hit 100%.
We've already done it. Mods, just out of interest, what's been our average view count tonight? Just because I'm trying to work out where we'd be sitting on Sunday in terms of how many viewers we've had in today.
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat, guys. But as you can see on the overlay, we're now at 103%. That's it looks.
Yeah, usually on a Sunday we'll range from sort of 2,000 up to about 4,000 live viewers.
Yeah.
Throughout the Sunday show. So obviously the midweek show we fully expect it to be lower than that.
Yeah. I mean, we're at 15 to 1,700 average. John saying, obviously.
Yep.
Jerry's clashed with us again, so that's affected our viewers. But hopefully Sunday, we usually pull in 3,000 on average, don't we? 3 to 4 sometimes.
Yeah.
Depending on the show. So that kind of leaves us open for a lot more fundraising to do on Sunday, which will be fantastic. 213 on Twitch. Big shout out to all you guys watching on Twitch as well. Appreciate that.
And last Sunday we may have had more views than a certain other streamer as well.
Yes,
so you know.
Are you going to bring razors on Sunday? Electric razors?
No, we won't be doing that here. that'll be done nice and safely at home, I think. Why are you coming?
I'm off on Sunday, unfortunately. I'm back up home, so otherwise I'd be here.
Let's have a look. And quite a few aircraft pinging up on the ground to really wrap up today's show as we draw towards the last half an hour or so. A380 is on a very wide base leg to come in just over Northwich. So that aircraft will be making a left turn very shortly.
Have you ever flown on many jumbo jets, Mark? Just
Never.
As a passenger?
Never once, no.
Never
I'd love to have a go.
How are you as a passenger on an aircraft?
Don't fly very often.
No?
No, it's only if the airline positions us. So I very rarely fly on.
So if you have like a holiday booked, will you usually just go somewhere in the UK or?
Yeah.
Or
the wife hasn't even got a passport.
Right, okay. Got you.
But no, I'd love to have a go in a jumbo. I'd love to have a go on a 3A. I'd love to go on a 350. I'd love to have a go in Concorde. I wouldn't want to fly the long haul stuff permanently, but I'd like to have a go.
For me, I think the 350 would be a nice experience, or a Dreamliner.
Yeah.
And I think Fezza found a route which was it London Heathrow to Helsinki, which is pretty short. You can go on a Finnair 350.
Yeah.
Something like that would be a nice, just like a day experience.
Yeah.
You know yourself, you can spend a day flying somewhere like, I don't know, the Canaries or something, or the Balearic Islands, and have just a day trip and be back on the same day.
Yeah. Yeah, a mate of mine went down to Heathrow to fly on the Air France 787s when they first got them, and they ended up changing it to something old and not very nice, and he was very happy.
Yeah, it reminds me of the day when we were supposed to see one of the BA 74 retros coming into Manchester, and it was like a big thing, and all of the plane spotters bought tickets and went down to Heathrow to get on it, and I think the green people got hold of it, and it got cancelled. And the fair play to fair play to British Airways. They did actually refund the plane spotting guys who had booked on specifically because it was a 747. I don't even know how that came about, because it wasn't massively widely advertised. I think people just kind of clocked on to what was happening, and they were checking the seat maps, and they were seeing it was a thing, and then everyone started booking on it. And to be fair, I think they should have ran it, because they sold the seats. But people were just saying, obviously, it's just a massive waste of fuel and not economical.
Yeah, I can understand that. But it is still viable to fly on a 747 in Europe these days. Isn't it? Lufthansa still have a fair fleet of them, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but especially over the last 2 years, they did use them quite a lot on the Balearic Island routes, like Palma de Mallorca.
They took 380s down there before.
380s
at the end of COVID for crew training. They put them down there.
Oh, of course, yeah. Because British Airways, this is how I managed to fly on one. Was they flew crew training to Madrid and Frankfurt with 380 as well. So I managed to do the same. Go on the seat map, find out where the 380s are, and it was hilarious having just a massive plane with just probably the passenger load of like an A319 or something, just scattered across it.
Yeah. Well, out in Japan, they use 747s for domestic flights. They've taken the winglets off the 400s, and they used to use them for domestic for short haul.
Wow.
And they would
Japan that big? Like, do they?
Well, no, it's just that many people wanted to travel, and then what they do, they fly them for 3/4 of their life, and then they put them winglets back on, and then stick them on long haul to do the last sort of 25% of their life.
Crazy.
You used to get these 400Ds. Air Nippon had them, and I think JAL had them.
And there's the girlfriend EasyJet on the way back out.
Yeah, we do like to name them. I don't know if you noticed that.
I have noticed, yeah.
And can we get a massive bing bong? We even have a couple for Kevin D going in with a 10 gifted Airliners Live memberships.
Thank you, Kevin.
Giving back to the community for smashing the target today. Thank you so much, Kevin. I know, Andy, you're picking up the light in here, mate. The A380 is very close to visual now. If you want to keep your eyes to the right, I'm going to stick my head out of the window and just see if I can salvage any sort of shot of that.
Yeah, we certainly will see it. Taxiing past, pulling up on stand 12 as well.
Well, thanks so much, Kevin, for your very generous support, mate.
Appreciate
really
it, dude.
it.
And I know you donate a lot to the charity, as well as that Gemini Jets A380 Emirates Expo model as well.
Thanks so much, mate.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was back in the winter. That kept hold of it for a long time.
Yeah, Tui sneaking in there in front of the old EasyJet.
There he is, the king of the skies, touching down.
He's already down. I ain't getting a picture of that.
Yeah, the flare. There you go, the touchdown. He actually caught it in between the trees there.
A lot of smoke come off the tyres.
A lot of smoke, yeah. Almost as high as the actual plane itself. And there we go, the king of the skies. Let's get some emotes in the chat. Arriving on 05 right. Not the best view here at the RVP for that particular arrival, but we do get the full rollout and the taxi in this gorgeous evening lighting.
A great shot there of Jodville Bank in the background behind the Emirates.
Not so much heat haze as well. I think that the wind has definitely helped cool the air down a lot. Wow, that is stunning lighting though. Lovely evening shot there. I know a couple of photographers who like to approach the pilots and whatnot, of people who've got photos of. Have you ever had that experience, Mark? Or have you ever had someone send a photo or something?
No, but I wish someone would.
That would be cool. I mean, I'm sure Martin's caught you a few times.
I probably have done.
Actually,
yeah,
the last few years.
We were so hyped to catch you coming in today. We were like, we're going to get an amazing touchdown shot. And then we were like, hang on, runway 2's open, so you're going to touch down way over there.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the future that will happen.
I was in about 20 to 3 anyway, 20 to 4 rather. So
See you in about 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
And I'm sure any other pilots who are tuning in and whatnot, you can always message us where our Instagram DMs are open. So if you want to send us a message,
yes.
And if you're flying in and out, especially during our live shows, we can get a recording of you guys as well as a photo as well. Same as if anyone's flying on board the aircraft as well as a passenger.
Yeah, search for Airliners Live on Instagram, reach out to us or use a contact form on our website, whatever you prefer.
Yep.
And we will make a special effort.
We read all the messages. What a shot that is. With the Moors behind the King of the Skies.
And if you're not following our Instagram yet, guys, search for Airliners Live. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We're putting all the pictures that we're taking up on days like today. And when the lighting's like this, we just have so many to choose from.
Yeah, look at that. And we've also got a Ryanair Max taxiing out as well. Sadly not using that taxiway that requires the big left turn.
Oh, wow, is he flying above you then?
Yeah, 1,000 foot above.
Wow, that's an awesome picture. If you can share that with us, mate, we'll get that straight on the Instagram. Yeah. Picture there, Mark's just showing me of a Emirates A380 flying overhead during one of the flights. This morning? Yeah. Wow. These Maxes are so photogenic.
Yeah, let's have a look. The engine there lit up. Leap 1B engines. It's going to hold for one of our favourite liveries, the Sun Express 737.
We'll DM you, Matt, on that. We're just being careful not to give too much away.
That's gorgeous. Look at the sun. I love this lighting. We've been treated here, actually, a nice sunny evening.
Yeah, it's definitely improved, hasn't it, since earlier on?
Yes. And there's a Max, 737 Max.
And the chassis with the chrome.
Yeah,
let's have a bit of that.
Doesn't that look good?
Oh, that looks great.
Give that a polish.
Yeah, them engines as well.
You notice on the Max, the nose wheel's longer. The nose sits higher. The actual strut, the nose wheel's longer to get more clearance to the engines. If you compare it to the Jet 2,
okay,
you can see the difference. It actually sits higher. When he turns, you'll be able to see it better. But it's, yeah.
So that's how they're achieving it.
That's one of the ways.
Yeah, looks like it's going to make the intersection here. Melissa's in the chat, of course, with the nay. Why is this the final evening show? So we did the evening shows on a Wednesday as a feature of the Runway Visitor Park, extending their opening hours till 8 p.m. So we're making full use of that and the gorgeous evening lighting. With the days getting shorter now, not only does it make sense to make the shows earlier, but also the RVP are changing their closing time to earlier as well. So such a show with this beautiful lighting won't be possible anymore. So next week it will probably be a morning start on the midweek show.
That Max just catching the light as it lines up on the intersection for its flight back to Rome. Something we only really see Ryanair doing a lot more than any of the other aircraft. Is that something you guys would do a little bit of with the intersections here, or is it more just a Ryanair
We do the performance from the intersections, just in case we've got a slot, we need to get off quick, or we're offered, to go. If they say go to Alpha 1 and use full length, suits me fine.
Yeah.
The most useless things in aviation is runway behind you, airspace above you, and air in the fuel tanks.
Yeah.
But if you need to get off quick, we've got the performance to do it.
Yeah, the Ryanairs do tend to use that intersection quite a lot.
Yeah, it's only really Ryanair. Even like the BizJets don't really use it very often.
One thing that makes me laugh is usually the BizJets take full length when some of the heavies don't even take the full length.
Yeah.
And they're up before they've even passed us here.
Right. Emirates A380. I love how we can end the show on such a beautiful aircraft. The biggest passenger aircraft in the world, of course. Coming in from Dubai with Emirates. It's actually waiting right now to cross runway 1. It's a feature of having dual runway operations here at Manchester. You actually need to cross over when you're on the second runway. So often you'll have to wait like this for the first runway to be nice and quiet. Of course, the full runway is required to be empty for any arriving and departing aircraft.
John Fez has asked a question. Do I prefer flap 3 or flap full landings? With the Airbus, it's approved to land with less flap. I don't mind doing flap 3. Some people don't like them. It's better on a 319. There's less risk of hitting the tail. If it's strong gusty winds, I'll come in flap 3. The Flight Crew Techniques manual says use flap 3 to optimise the climb gradient in case of a go-around. You're going a bit faster. You've got less drag. You get away from the ground quicker. I quite like doing them. I think it handles all right. It burns a bit less fuel. It makes a little bit less noise, and it doesn't upset the neighbours quite as much. So yeah, I do quite a lot of flap 3s, John.
There you go, easy. Emirates just crossing the active.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
The lighting is just incredible this evening. What an end to today's show, and it doesn't look like we're going to lose it for the rest of the stream. Definitely going to make full use of this photo session.
Yep, we'll be wrapping up in about 20 minutes time, ladies and gents. Obviously, the RVP closes at 8. But we need to finish a little bit earlier than that because we've got quite a lot to pack away.
We do.
We also need to take a few bits back, don't we? Because of
yes, we've got some technical things to check.
Yep. And make sure you tune in tomorrow from 7 p.m. UK time or 11 a.m. Vancouver time. Henry Tenby will be live over there at Vancouver Airport for his weekly show. Apologies for anyone who tuned in last night as well. He had a technical issue with it looked like an encoder issue that needs sorting, but it's something that is fixable by the looks of things.
Yeah. It did fix itself after just a restart, but unfortunately we had a setting on the YouTube which ended the stream when the show ended, because obviously me and Andy would have been asleep to end it. So just a couple of things that caused him not to be able to go live, but not a problem. We will get it resolved probably tomorrow, to be honest.
And he'll be continuing the charity fundraiser as well.
Now this Jet 2 is waiting, and I have got a slow shutter, and I'm going to go for a pan. And if we nail it in this light, I'm going to be one happy bunny. And then I'll be getting to all of your donations that have come through as well, guys. And Hainan should be going out, really, Logan. That would be a nice way to end the show.
Wasn't that due out at like 3 o'clock or something? Or is that like 4? Am I being dumb?
So what is the food order later, Martin and Andy, says Dad? Well, Andy has recommended that Tim Hortons is the way to go.
Yeah, I love Tim Hortons. I think it's great. I'm not a big fast food eater. I never eat McDonald's. I never eat KFC. Never really eat Burger King unless I'm at an airport.
But we do have Gourmet Burger Kitchen, though, every now and again. Definitely recommend that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just don't eat out at all these days. I just like to... I just stick to things like steak and pork at home.
Did we nail it? Let's have a look. We'll skip through. Wait while it writes to the card.
Yeah, you know with these Jet 2s that you're going to get a nice long roll. So I think like a panning shot, which is where you kind of blur the background by slowing the shutter speed.
So you see how it's blurred there? Yeah. It's because we haven't tracked it properly, because you would usually use like quite a high shutter speed and that would freeze the action. There you go. Yeah. But what you want is when you track it properly, see how you get the blurry background, but the plane is like beautifully crisp. That's what we're going for usually.
That's good.
Usually you achieve that like when the aircraft's perfectly horizontal to the camera, basically. If you're panning it, say there, the back would be in, but the nose would be out of focus. So not bad. Not bad. We'll try it again on the old Ryanair.
Yep, should rotate quite a bit earlier this one.
Oh yeah, he's off already, isn't he?
Just can't get over how great the video looks.
Oh mate, it's just amazing tonight.
Yeah. And what a send-off for the midweek evening show as well.
Yes, it's definitely proven the late opening hours have been so beneficial to us on Airliners Live. We've been able to enjoy absolutely beautiful evening light here from the Runway Visitor Park. Make sure you come down, guys, and enjoy it, because you don't get much lighting than this, much better lighting than this. So next summer, if you've missed out this year, get yourself down to the RVP and enjoy this late evening light. But as we draw into the last 15 minutes of today's show, last chance to get your questions into Mark. So if you've got any more questions, feel free to get them in the chat.
Yep, Mark is an Airbus captain by trade, and he was flying today actually into Manchester Airport.
So apparently the Hainan was due out at 3, and it's been delayed till 7. But obviously it's now 10 past 7 and it's still not pinging up. So I would assume that's probably more like a flight radar delay, where it just keeps being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
There is an app that people who work at the airport can use, isn't there? Maybe Mark,
yes,
you know
there
about
is.
it.
He's already tapping away for us here in the...
Yeah, because I know Owen Flemo has access to that as well, working at Liverpool Airport, and I think he also gets access to Manchester as well with his particular job role. Yeah,
look forward to seeing you on Sunday, Sophie. Thanks for checking out the chat today. Whilst Mark's having a quick look at that, I'm going to refresh and get on to some bing bong, shall we, guys? We are now at 105% on the support here at the moment. And
nice to see Hainan, especially in this lighting. Wow. But I don't know.
Hainan in this lighting taking off will be incredible.
It's a Dreamliner today, isn't it?
It is.
For a change, it's usually the 330 they fly.
Leslie K, thank you very much for your donation. Really appreciate that, Leslie. Mark Cullen, again, thank you to you. I'm not sure where I got up to, so I may be doubling up here. Kenneth Watkinson, thank you very much to you. David Hurd, thank you for your donation, saying well done everyone. A very good friend of mine is fighting cancer at the moment, so very happy to see lots of pounds being raised. Keep up the superb work. Very good luck, and the whole community is behind him, David. Send him all of our love from Airliners Live. Thank you very much for supporting the fundraiser this year as well. Joanne Ingham, thank you very much for your donation, saying great cause, happy to contribute, love your work. Peter, thank you very much for you, saying you do a great job, thanks. Cheers, Peter. Hayden UK saying Mark is awesome, please come back soon with a £10 donation.
Oh, thank you, mate. Cheers.
Definitely need to get Mark back on. Grab this as well. Am I too late?
The Helvetic E190 departing in a beautiful evening lighting here at Manchester Airport. Great visibility as well. You see the moors back there as well.
Holly Mitchell, thank you very much for your donation, appreciate that. And Mod Matt, very good friend of ours, very fantastic mod for the channel as well, with another donation coming in, saying can't express how proud of this community I am. Your donations are going to make a huge difference in many people's lives. Let's keep going, from Mod Matt. Thank you, dude, really appreciate that. And Kevin D with another huge donation going into the charity fundraiser. Kevin, thank you so much, mate. You've donated so much already as well, going in with another £100 donation, saying another donation to keep it going from Kevin D. Thank you so much, mate.
Legend. Thank you, dude.
Another very generous £10 donation from an anonymous donor on the channel. I'll give it one more refresh as we have a 767 on the way out. Currently £6,322 raised, and we're only 3 days in, guys.
I'm always giving the pilots a wave from this position, but I'm curious how much they can see us, you know, with the light being behind us.
Yeah, it's very backlit, aren't we?
Yeah, looking into the sun type deal. Look how beautiful she looks, though, in this evening lighting. Golden.
So it is looking at 7 on the old app.
I mean, it's 1:15 now, and we've only got really 15 minutes max. But to see that Hainan in this lighting.
Hainan in this light. Oh, please make it happen.
A Hainan Dreamliner as well. But, I mean, it's already delayed from 3 p.m.
I wonder what would cause a delay like that long. Anything you may be able to chip in on that?
Probably tech. Yeah, I would have thought.
Right, okay. You seem to see it quite often when they start a new airline or restart a route. We noticed like when Air Canada started here a couple of months ago.
Air
it was
Canada
the same.
are always, like, we're talking hours.
Yeah. There's a few other airlines, just to name one, but yeah, I think they probably get a lot of teething issues as well. And even the A380 as well, like how often is that on time? It's usually about half an hour late, isn't it? So there's clearly some bottleneck there. Because I don't think Manchester Airport are having many issues these days with queues and things. I know it got pretty bad back earlier this year. But me personally, maybe you can chime in, Mark, I find Manchester Airport these days to be pretty slick on the...
Yeah, it's improved a lot. I mean, it was bad earlier this year. There were a lot of delays. But yeah, it seems to be running a lot better now. A lot better.
Good to hear. My dad's winding everybody up in the chat.
Oh, gosh.
Saying to Sam, what's your view on bald men, Sam? And then Fezza slides in and said, she'll find out soon enough. So, looks like we're in a little bit of bother, guys. Now's the time to dip and run, I think. Oh, sorry, guys. Shaver's broke.
I'll leave you my spare one.
Oh, yeah. Whose side are you on? So glad we caught that 7.6 in this light.
What a sound.
Lovely aircraft, isn't it?
Yeah, the CF6s on board. Making a beautiful racket.
Oh, the lighting is just incredible.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth sticking around for the last 15 minutes to see if this Hainan departs.
Yeah, that'd be an amazing bonus. Nothing pinging up on the ground at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could tune in to sort of like, like Manchester delivery or something. I know you got the scanner down there.
Yeah, it's.
But sadly, due to like very old UK laws, we can't use that on the old live stream.
Next to land on runway 2 would be the Eurowings in from Dusseldorf.
I'd love to contact like Nats or someone these days, to see how they feel about that old law. Since they're the operator.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Interesting to know.
Yeah, because I know there's some websites and things that just openly broadcast ATC in the UK, and they don't seem to be.
Yeah, there is a channel, and I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want to be a grass. But there is a channel who are broadcasting Heathrow ATC, and they're also doing it behind a paywall as well. So they're charging for it, so they're very brave. I certainly won't be doing that with our channel, but yeah, there are people who are doing that.
Yeah,
and seem to be having no issues doing so because it's been on for a good few months.
But the law basically says you can't tune in unless. I think it's if
you're not the intended recipient is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it's not a transmission that's meant for you, then
how would you define that though? Because you think it's not just like pilots and ATC on that frequency; it might be people on the ground, right? Like, how would you define who can listen? Like, it's a very strange law anyway.
Yeah, it's very odd.
I'm pretty sure it's not policed, but yeah, it's something that we would definitely benefit from being able to hear the ATC. Like Martin said a couple of times, it'd be nice just to hear what's going on, like chatter on the ground and things. Like, not even necessarily to broadcast as like for you guys to listen to, but more so we can just get a bit of info here and there,
And how do you find ATC, Mark? Is it usually just crystal clear all the time, or sometimes it's harder to hear than others?
It's old technology. I mean, in Europe, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There are certain countries you hear them speak, it sounds like they've got their head in a bucket. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to hear them. We've got the CPDLC data links. They can send us messages now, send us to change frequency rather than all the chatter. The standard of ATC can be variable depending on which part of the world you are. Some are very good, some are not so good.
Yeah. And is CPDLC like the main way of you switching frequency, or is there still a lot of handoff? Because I assume in a busy airspace like over Europe and stuff.
Yeah, they want you. I mean, if you're heading over towards Holland and Germany, they want you using it. They want to send.
And for
you
people in the
frequency.
chat who may not know, CPDLC. Do you want to quickly explain?
Yeah, it's a controller pilot data link. They basically send us a text message with a frequency, the next
And
frequency.
there's a little screen at the bottom of
Yeah.
the aircraft lets you know there's a message coming and you can view it on the computer.
Yeah,
right?
and it just says call this frequency, so you just call them up and send OK, I'll do that, send it.
So you reply back with an OK, do you, to them?
Yeah, you say Wilco and send. And when it says controller received, they can tell you to fly headings, they can give you direct to points, they can tell you to climb or descend, fly certain speeds on it. It's very, very good.
And do you think ATC would be going more down that route at some point?
Yeah, I think so. It's quite busy. So, sometimes the problem you've got at the moment still is that they'll say call this frequency, you call them up and there's so many people calling in, you're trying to get a word in.
Yeah.
And that's where the congestion is on the frequency.
Because then essentially you're flying through airspace with no control.
Yeah.
And that. And then, I mean, what would you do in that situation? I mean, they know where you're going anyway because you've got your flight plan and stuff like that. But, I mean, I guess with things like CPDLC, that's just going to make that a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, you try and get a call in. If you can't, then you just sit there and wait. And if they're worried, they'll call you.
Yeah. And CPDLC, is that something that's currently being rolled out in a lot more places, or has it been something that's been around for a long time?
It's been around for a long time, but it is being rolled out a lot more, and a lot more airlines are using it. They're now really pushing for this, and they want everyone using it. And if you on your flight plan, when the company files it, it will say we'll see builders equipped. And if you haven't logged in with out here, you talk to Scottish aren't using it, but London will. And then you get over to the Dutch, and if you haven't logged in, they're like, "Oh, log in on quickly. We want you. We want you logged in so we can send you messages."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good bit of kit. It is good. But I mean, when we talk about the quality of ATC, there's certain airports we go to where I brief it and I say, look, if we get a clearance we're not happy with, we'll refuse it, and any clearance we're unsure about, we'll ask for clarification. I have had it before where we've been going into a certain airport, holiday resort, and cleared to descend, and there's another aircraft below us at the same height. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that because.
So it's all about the situational awareness.
Yeah, you've got to know where you are.
And there's Andy just catching this sun behind us as it sets over Manchester Airport. It has been an amazing stream. It has been amazing. And we are really lucky in the flight sim world as well, because things like CPDLC are coming through in the sim now as well. So we're getting, not sure if you're familiar with VATSIM, but VATSIM is basically a worldwide network which has ATC controllers on with dedicated ATC software. And they're controlling the virtual pilots in the sim.
I've heard about it. I didn't know it was that in depth.
It's incredible, mate. Brilliant. And that's what John uses a lot on his flights. So you'll have, and sometimes quite a few real-world controllers actually on VATSIM as well. Right. All the controllers have to go through training to control people, and they get their ratings, which will take them all the way up to sector controllers and things like that. But like I say, recently with the aircraft improving and stuff, things like CPDLC are actually now coming to the sim as well, which is awesome.
Good. Makes it more realistic then.
And it's how people like me and I assume John and all the others actually know what it is you say in there with stuff like that. So it really is a great way to learn. If you love aviation, the way flight sim going at the minute, you can learn a lot about how an aircraft works by doing flight sim, because a lot of the aircraft are study level now as well. A particular one, Phoenix sim, their sim is just incredible. What you can do with that 320 is you're just going through scenarios and things, and FS Labs is another one back on the old systems. So it's just absolutely incredible what they're doing. It's really, really good.
And did you mention that you flew the Iron Maiden 75, did you say?
I did. I flew it in its colours just before the Iron Maiden tour, and I took it down. I took off out of Paris on Boxing Day, landed in Djibouti the next morning, and I've got some photos of it parked up there on the ramp. But
great.
Soon after, the week after, a few days after, it went down to Chambéry, and someone drove some steps into the wing, into the aileron.
Oh, no.
And Bruce Dickinson was doing his absolute nut because he's about to go on tour in this aircraft, and it's broken. And they got an old Antonov turboprop and borrowed an aileron from somewhere in Amsterdam and flew it down into Chambéry. And there's pictures of this old Antonov pouring smoke out, bringing this thing so they could quickly get it in and go off on their world tour. But that was... and the plane they used, it was Go Jib, and it was a bit of an old knacker. It had APU problems and there was a gearbox problem, but it was a bit unreliable, and I was quite surprised when they used it. But they converted it into a combi, and then they used one of the more modern ones for the later tours, and then obviously the jumbo for the last few. But yeah, it was quite good. But they had to repaint it fairly quickly because obviously you've got a zombie on the tail, and some people weren't too keen on getting on it. It didn't go down well in certain parts of the world.
The reason why I said it was because Loopy in the chat, one of our biggest moderators, he used to work with them. He was a roadie for Iron Maiden.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And he's actually got a book out as well.
Yeah, he's got a great book out, Loopy World it's called. And he sells it on his website. It's all about when he used to tour with them and stuff. And he's spoke a bit about that aircraft as well. So.
He mentioned to me he never flew on the 7.4, but I wonder if he ever flew on the 7.5 if he's in the chat.
Yeah, let us know, Loopy. That'd be amazing to know. But last 5 minutes or so in the chat. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to see that Heinen today, folks, I'm afraid. That meme is just incredible.
It's a bit chilly up here now as well.
I bet it is. But having a look down the approach path, we've just got Ryanair in, but it's in over Northwich, and there's nothing really on the ground going out. So it's probably a good time to wrap up the show today, guys. But I just want to say a massive thank you to Mark for coming on.
Yeah, great.
Being involved in the show. We're going to have to get you on again, mate.
Thank you so much for having us. Like I said, we love what you do, and you're doing a great job for the charity. Thank you all for who's donated, and last couple of minutes, chuck a few more quid in if you can.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely brilliant course. Thank you so much for having us, fellas. It's much appreciated.
No, I know a lot of people in the chat have said they've learnt a lot tonight. It's been great to have your insight and your knowledge on the channel as well. So thank you very much, mate, for coming on. For everyone who's donated tonight, for myself and Andy, just a huge thank you. We cannot have imagined what we've achieved this evening before we've even gone into the evening's fundraising. It's just been absolutely incredible. So thank you very much. Final total, give it a quick refresh, £6,362 going in. Let's have a quick look if we've got some names to read out before we do. We've got Gary Bennett. Thank you so much for your donation, Gary. Saying keep up the good work, all towards a great cause. It certainly is. Christina, thank you to you, saying great show, very good work, guys. Thank you very much, Christina. Polish Peter with a £10 donation, saying wish to John Fezzer to do a flight from Manchester to Warsaw, modelling for all of our community from Poland. So John will get that added to the list for you, Peter, no problem. Thank you so much for your donation. And Anthony Wood, thank you for your donation. Let's give him a big bing bong, Andy, for that. And that puts us to at the end of today's broadcast, the midweek show before the fundraising show, 106%.
That's nuts. I can't believe that.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. From all the team here at Airliners Live, a massive thank you. And thank you very much for tuning in this evening, folks. We're going to wrap the show up. So for myself, Martin, Andy, and Mark, our resident pilot for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed his company, guys. We'll definitely be getting Mark back on again very, very soon. But for now, from all of us at Airliners Live, thank you very much. We'll see you in Henry's show tomorrow evening, and we'll see you on the Sunday show on Sunday for a bit more fundraising, shall we? Let's hit that 15 grand, guys. Take care from all of us. Ta-ra. See you next time. See ya!